This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live for this Sunday afternoon. Shout out to everybody on the chat. Renee Padilla, salute Kurt. I am working in Arizona Solar, and I'm only 30 minutes away from the Benavides Gym in Phoenix. I want to get some sparring in with pros to get experience. Hey, man, don't hurt to ask. Doesn't hurt to ask, man. Like, just be respectful. But I would definitely check it out, because the answer is always no if you don't know, right? So I'll take that on the advisement. Yeah, I would love that too. Hell, why not? You know? And we got some bad news, kind of. That's what this is about. Mr. Unavoidable. Terence Bud Crawford. And you hear Terence wanting only certain fights. You know, he doesn't want Jermell Charlo anymore. The J. Roos Theory. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Your shirt, my friend, is in the mail. Okay? So just be advised, it's in the mail. I'm going to send you a snapshot of it. I got my associate. Sent it out. It's been picked up. It's coming to your house, sir. Airzism, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Much love, Airzism, in the building. Hit that like button when you guys come in, man. I'm glad to be live. I wanted to do the KSI versus Fury fight, but then I thought about the shit. It was pay-per-view. And pay-per-view, to me, with those type of guys, ain't really worth it to me. I'm just going to be honest. Salute, Kurt. Counterpunch Boxing News and chat. Good to see everyone this afternoon. Good to see you, Deshaun, in the building. What's up, brothers? I'm not prideful, so I'm not going to have an ego. Come humble. Absolutely. You know, you'd have to probably pay a fee to go to be in the gym, more than likely, because, you know, I think, you know, that's how they're set up, a lot of them. You know, just to train, you know, you pay like a daily fee or whatnot. You know, some of these places will bust your pockets, though, you know, just being real with you. But most of the time, you know, you shouldn't have a problem unless it's closed. So if it is closed for training, they might have it closed off. So just be ready for that. Skrilla50, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Man, I'm just enjoying this beautiful day, man. I got a hoodie on, baby. I got the Canelo hoodie on. No boxing, no life. No golf, no life. You know, but now I'm proud to wear it, man, because, dude, it's been a career degree high temperature record breaking summer. So I'm glad that shit's over. Kurt, why is Crawford avoiding Spence at 154 but is willing to go up to 168 to fight Canelo? Well, Ed, it's not really confirmed that it's set in stone at 147. This is what Spence has to do. Spence has to inform Crawford, okay? He has to inform him that he can no longer make 147. And he has to put it in writing, okay? So once he notifies Crawford's side that he can no longer make 147, which that would be the thing to do. That's not up to Terence Crawford. That was in the contract. The contract stipulates that each side has to inform the other side if they cannot make that weight in the rematch. Okay, so that's what's in the contract. Terence Crawford already described that. That's how it is. Jack Smith, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. It's hot and dry here in Arizona and Texas. It's hot and humid. That's it. Crawford is best pound for pound. The J. Roos Theory, man, I seen those that video with those bars on it. Oh, man, he was dropping those bars. You know, hitting them strings like guitars. Bars. But no, no. So if Errol Spence, it's not a deal breaker. He just has to inform, which would be smart, because if he wants it at 154, he could just say, hey, I can't make 147. Damn if he can or not. Don't be proud. Just inform that side, hey, I can't make 147. I want 154. They talked about it right after the fight. Hey, I want this fight at this limit, and Terence Crawford said that was a good idea. You're a good man and boxing fan. I watch you always. Peace. East Coast Cabin Fever. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Appreciate the support, my friend. Appreciate the support. Let's be real, Kurt. Canelo doesn't want to pass the torch to Benavidez. No, he doesn't. And the way he talks about Gervonta Tank Davis, I think Canelo, you know, I think he has that type of mindset. Like he's not starter boxing. He's not here long. I ain't still the starter. Listen, Canelo, I think he needs to sit down somewhere. I really do. You know, and in a couple years, for Canelo, he doesn't understand. He would have been better off fighting Benavidez 2 years ago. He would have probably had a better chance of beating him. And what people don't get, he's either going to fight Benavidez or he's not. Because if he ends up fighting him, let's say a year from now, that's a year from now. You know what I mean? So if we seen Canelo, yeah, he looked good against a guy like Jermell Charlo that didn't really come to fight. He came to box and move and grab, clinch. You know what I mean? Stop the action. Let the referee pretty much durate the fight for you. Narrate it through. Let me throw a couple punches and let me grab on. You know what I mean? No, he didn't come to fight. But somebody get like David Benavidez, he's coming to destroy you. He is coming to fight. And he's coming to, you know, put those hands on you. And we've already seen Canelo get beat up. We've seen Bivol beat the shit out of him. Just boxed his face off. That's all he did. Bivol shoe shine Canelo's face, bro. That's what he did. I see Canelo fighting Benavidez before Crawford. Either one of them, for me, fight somebody, you know. I hope Crawford can get a noteworthy fight before he retires. He already did the Errol Spence fight. And people at this point, that's what the title is about. Terence Crawford is avoidable, and I'm going to explain why. Let me knock out some of these comments. Tim versus Charlo winner versus Crawford would be fire. Well, that's what we want to talk about. That's why I'm here today. Okay? That's the whole purpose of the live stream, to inform you guys that Tszyu does not want to fight Crawford. He said, fuck that fight. He's not fighting that fight. And that's the problem. That's the bad news. Because Tszyu wants Jermell Charlo. And I think Tszyu wants Jermell Charlo because he's seen Jermell Charlo when pressured. And that gave him confidence, I feel. I feel that Tszyu saw that performance or lack of performance by Jermell Charlo and decided, you know what? I want Jermell. You know what I mean? Like, I would drop the mandatory belt that I'm fighting for in order to be a unified champion at the weight class to fight an easier opponent. Think about it. Kurt knows his stuff. Beat down that like button. Beat down that like button, y'all. Counterpunch to you. Ryan, Tim had a t-shirt with a hit lost post fight, and it had Charlo, then Crawford, then Canelo. It ain't Crawford no more. Because he's seen Crawford destroy a bigger guy in Errol Spence, and he probably put himself in that place. Because let's face it, Tszyu's a tough, durable guy. He's tough. But like Floyd, Money Mayweather, straight up and down, no special effects. I don't see anything. I don't see anything special about the kid. Really? Hey, Leonard, you see anything special about Tszyu? Tszyu, he fight like Golovkin. Golovkin ain't shit either. Right? I mean, and I know Tim saw that. He was like, wait a minute. Undefeated guy in Crawford beat the dog shit out of Errol Spence, or Jermell Charlo that just went to last 12 rounds and already been beaten twice with one draw. Who are you going to really choose or select? A pound for pound great that's coming up from fucking weight class to weight class to weight class, or a guy that's been there fucking forever that's been beat a couple times? I would pick B. You know what I mean? So no, yes, I see Tszyu taking that fight for that reason. Jonas, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. So that's what I see. I see Tszyu dropping that belt. He doesn't want to fight Crawford. You know, so that really doesn't prepare Crawford for anybody at 154. But nobody wants that type of style. You know what I mean? And look, I look at Tszyu. He's a cross between, and it's funny, he's a cross between a guy like Golovkin, because he is a come-forward fighter, but he's also, I see him getting beat by Crawford just being broke down like he did another big guy, Jeff Horn, that also went from 147 to 154 and got destroyed. Remember that? Like, he couldn't hang up there. Anthony Joshua, any news? Man, I got some stuff coming in about Joshua right now, actually. I just finished 5 videos, so they're all coming out in conjunction. So there you go. Crawford is Thanos. Yeah, that motherfucker is Thanos. Damn, he actually is Thanos. Terence Crawford is Thanos. Skrilla 50, that's it. Terence Crawford is Thanos. I remember the first time I saw Crawford, he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa, the undefeated Yuriorkis Gamboa. And Yuriorkis was doing, he was doing a good job. He was beating him in the early rounds. And then this motherfucker turned southpaw. I ain't seen anything like that, really. Bud turned southpaw and then had Yuriorkis looking at him like, yeah. When he turned them feet, Yuriorkis was like, yeah. Bud a bad dude. That dude, IBF change. So Kurt, is Bud the boogeyman? He's been the boogeyman. And do you guys notice, before he beat Errol Spence, like maybe 2 years before he beat Errol Spence, remember Errol Spence used to call himself the boogeyman? And then all of a sudden he stopped. Remember that? It was just man down. Strap season. Remember, the boogeyman title had been dropped. He dropped that shit like a bad call that you get from spam. He dropped that shit. He didn't use it no more. If you notice, Errol Spence, nah, man, I'm the boogeyman, man. And he was the boogeyman only for one person that he was chasing after. And he was only after really one person, and that was Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was, I don't want none of that, boy. I got injuries, boy. I just got married, boy. I ain't got time for you. You know what? Look, you just threw that Mayweather just threw that shit at you. You ain't ready for this. This is levels of this, boy. Don't worry when my shoulder gets healed, boy. I'm gonna be back. That fight never happened. And then that's when he started calling him, I'm the boogeyman. I stop Canelo. I stop Golovkin. I stop all these motherfuckers, man. Hell, I'm the boogeyman. And and the more he called himself the boogeyman, the more shit he talked, the more tats he got. If you notice that. You notice that about Errol Spence. Errol Spence, the more shit he talked, the more tats he got. Start hanging around Lions Only and the Charlos. You remember he starting to go to the little peak out? Remember that? Hanging around the Charlos. Boogeyman, the big fish. You have belts, Crawford is collecting them like infinity stones. Yeah. And he wants them. And he doesn't really want Jermell, because Jermell just showed us that he can be beaten. And then this is what will happen, though. If you really honestly think about it. If Terence Crawford beat Jermell Charlo now, if he took the fight with Jermell and he beat him behind Canelo, would he really get credit for beating Jermell Charlo? I mean, yeah, he could stop him. You could say, well, Terence Crawford stopped him. Well, based on his aggressive style and the way he fights and his mentality, he's going to do that anyway. That won't really matter, right? So who cares, really? Nobody will really look at that as like, oh, really good job, Terence. You just got those belts. You would have got those belts from a person that refused to fight another undisputed person in another weight class, right? So he lacked heart. So we seen a guy that had a lack of, then he goes and gets beat by another guy that has full of everything else. How much credit would you give him? It would just seem like a lesser champion in a weight class that Terence Crawford went to and beat up after surviving with another guy. Fight the other guy. That's why Terence Crawford's like, look, I want Canelo because Canelo beat Jermell. If I beat Jermell, it's no big difference. We've seen him get beat. We've seen him not really come to fight. We've seen what he's really made out of. You know what I mean? He came there to survive. He didn't come there to fight. What warrants me and gives me credit and praise for beating that guy. Jermell laid down for Canelo. He did. He laid down and he put his ass in the air. You know, and Canelo was ready. You know, that's what he got. The Spence yeah, man. That's Spence, though. I mean, and Spence got destroyed. Spence got destroyed. Jermell got beat. So who else is left? It's Canelo. You know, and he did it for the cash. You know what I mean? And Jermell Charlo, that would be a lit fight if Jermell Charlo did beat Canelo. Then who's worried about Canelo? Then Canelo would be on his way out. You know, he's done what he's done. He's went from 154 to 160 to 168 to 175. He's been a champion in 4 different weight classes. Good for you. You made a lot of money. You got the highest contract ever in the history of boxing. That shit looked like a baseball contract that some Latin player would get. Okay, A-Rod contract. Great. Wonderful. But at the end of the day, you're on your way out because you've got beat by a guy from a lower weight class. I've been following Terence Crawford for years, and I'm confident he will outbox Canelo and hurt him too. Remember this if the fight happens. Ennis, I'm with you. A lot of people call me crazy, but that's okay. That's okay. They called me crazy when I picked him against Canelo. I mean, Errol Spence. When Errol Spence got destroyed, I knew it. It didn't surprise me. I told you guys that. Wallin will fight Filip Hrgovic for the IBF belt after Usyk versus Fury rematch. I would love that. And I like Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin is a guy that has been overlooked. I think he needs a better promotional company. I think he needs to get rid of Dimitri Salita. I think Dimitri Salita is not, he's like a, what's the promoter's name? Older guy now. He's like Lou DiBella. He's like Lou DiBella to me. And I think Lou DiBella has more pull than him. He's like that. He's like those type of guys. He doesn't have that power to make things happen in the way you know, I don't think he has a voice on the promotional level. Devin Haney is coming for Crawford. Devin Haney, bro, I need to move. I've heard it all. Devin Haney, listen, let me tell you something. I like Devin Haney. I'm really cool with his dad. I have mad respect for his dad. But let me tell you something. If Devin Haney fights Terence Crawford and he calls out Terence Crawford, for one, he gets 100% for calling him out. For two, he would get 100% for fighting. But for three, he will be fucking destroyed by Terence Crawford. There will be nothing that he could do, okay? Being his pure boxing ass, okay? Nothing that he could do to beat Terence Crawford. He will be stopped. And he's a tough kid. I wouldn't want to see him to go down that route, though. Because Terence Crawford is 35 years... No, I'm sorry. He's 36 now. Terence Crawford is 36 years of age. Okay? He's 36. He's undefeated. He has 40 wins. What, 31 by knockout, is it? I wouldn't want to see... Bro, no. Devin Haney fighting Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have to be, in order for him to win, or should I say, in order for Terence Crawford to lose, Terence Crawford would have to have some type of fucked up injury. He would have to have just slowed down tremendously at that point. Tio would get destroyed by Bud because Bud's time is too good. Tio's quick and he's very athletic, but he's not a killer. He's not. He's the kind of guy, he will fight you. He throws these like sporadic hooks and overhands, like, you know, he likes to do that throwback left hook. I mean, the type of throwback where you used to see Floyd, you know, or Oscar. Remember, they just come in with a hook. You know, they just come in with it, just totally athletic. They come in with it. You know, it's just like, you know, I mean, it's just one of those ones that come from your hip and you don't see it until it catches you. You know, Sugar Shane did it. Roy was great at it. Floyd was great at it. Those type of athletic guys that could come and launch a hook from this a crazy position from this angle, bop, you know what I mean, and then come back, and then you're caught with it. You're like, what the hell was that? And then that's what Terence Crawford would do to Devin Haney, but that's what Tio is trying to do. But he's not good at it. He throws it, but it's too telegraphed, you know. And someone like Bud, I see Bud catching Tio with an uppercut and knocking him out. You know something, though? I think a lot of these guys, though, I think Devin Haney, he's tall enough, he's young enough, he's big enough. I think these guys belong at 147. He's at 140. So I'm not criticizing Devin. Devin left 135. He didn't belong there no way. He belongs at 140. But I don't think he should stay there forever, too. That's a visit. It's not a stay. He needs to then go to 147 because he's getting older. As he gets older, your body matures. As your body matures, it fills out. Okay? And I mean fills out in a in shape type way. You know, you have walking around that in shape. In shape, his levels, his age, you know, he was able to make that weight because of his age. But honestly, I think Devin Haney in a year or two should be at 147. He should not be and still at 140. He shouldn't. Yeah, he looks dead at 135. Ennis, he looks dead at 135. Once Canelo starts stumping on Bud, because remember, Bud doesn't run and he ain't got the power to hurt Canelo. I don't know if he does or don't, because one thing I notice about Terence Crawford, you know the difference between Terence Crawford and Floyd when Floyd fought Canelo? You know what the difference is? The difference is Terence Crawford's, his power is almost like a battering ram, because if his arms are not, they're long, but they're oblong, but the punches coming at these angles that when they land with a thudding force, like a battering ram, like, you know, like the stick with the chain, with the ball on the end, and you get hit with it. That's how his power hits you. And based on how he catches you, I think he's able to hurt Canelo. I don't think to knock him out. Because it hasn't been proven, okay, that Canelo is he's no chinny guy. If I say Canelo's chinny, I'm hating on this man right here. I'm not hating on this man. Canelo has probably the best beard in the business. Think about it. It was Canelo, Joe Joyce, who else? Tyson Fury. Because, you know, Tyson Fury can be hurt, but he has that heart. He has that recuperative power, ability to bow. Okay, then I'm back. It'll take me a little while, but I'm back. Okay. Who else is on that list? Who else has a good chin? Really, those three. You think of those guys with good chins. Canelo's up there. He's up there on the top, because Joyce is down now. He's been cracked. Okay. They say Crawford has wobbled heavyweights in now. Listen, you don't know what type of power Terence Crawford has at 168, but we do know that the motherfucker walks around at 180, 183, walking around. Now, depending on, you know, it could be a blessing and a curse. He could be slower at 168. He might not move as fast. He might be stronger at 168. So we don't know, you know? And here's the thing. Who says that it's all about chin when you're talking about Terence Crawford? See, Terence Crawford might hit Canelo to the body. One thing about a body tree chopping kind of guy like Canelo, bah, bah, you know what I mean? Ah, bah, bah, you know, guy like that throws punches to the body, bah, bah, you know, throws these punches upstairs and downstairs, Mickey Ward style. They don't like punches to the body. Speaking of Mickey Ward, let me give you guys, and if you guys haven't seen this fight, I employ everybody, all 94 of you guys, all of you guys, to check out Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel Stewart, or Emmanuel Augustus, because he changed his name, the Drunken Master. Those guys fought for 10 rounds in, I think they were in Rhode Island or somewhere in Boston. right? That fight was epic because we've seen a guy like Mickey Ward, head, body, head, Mickey, at Mickey Ward, go to war with the Drunken Master. And the Drunken Master showed Mickey in that fight that people that go to the body don't like getting hit to the body. Because he was also going to Mickey Ward's body, and you could tell it was hurting him. So that's a fight. It was a classic. ESPN2, love that, man. I wish they would bring that back because I miss a platform for boxers that don't normally get televised. See, we don't see these guys that I think we should see. We see these guys fighting casinos. It's not televised. You know, the only people that see it are the people that they're gambling and watching it live or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, Grand Tunica and shit like that. They don't see, and we don't have access to those because there's no network to really pick it up, or nobody gives a shit enough to see or videotape these fights. I just don't think Bud wants. I just don't want Bud to lose. I want Bud to retire on top. Well, I don't know if Bud cares about that as much. I think Bud cares about the challenge, and this is why I will always respect Roy Jones over Floyd. Floyd cared about that because this is what Floyd was doing. Floyd did not want to get beat because he didn't want to give his haters an opportunity to take a dig at him. That's why. And the people that were his haters was hating Floyd not because he was a bad fighter, not because he talked shit, not because he didn't fight the best. They hated Floyd for something Floyd had no control over. His skin. You know, some people, like myself, I criticize Floyd for the shit he did in his career. Those people, the ones that he was referring to, HBO, guys like that, not Letterman, but what's his name? I always forget it. It's Jim Lampley. What's the other guy's name? The old fucking guy. He's about 90 years old now. I forget. But Kurt, what's going on, brother? Pitbull has a good chin. Pitbull, he does. He does have a good chin. He does, because he took a lot of shots from Gervonta Tank Davis, even though Davis, though, to be fair, he was only fighting a guy with one hand. He hurt his hand with them bullshit gloves on. If he was allowed to fight with the gloves that he selected, no boxing, no life Canelo gloves, because Floyd was hating on Gervonta. Yes, he was. He's seen those gloves. You ain't wearing those gloves. You ain't wearing them gloves by Canelo. Canelo, your enemy. Canelo, your enemy. Right? So he didn't wear those gloves. And what did he end up with? These bullshit red fucking Mike Tyson punch-out gloves. You know what I mean? I don't even think they were name brand. They were just some red bullshit gloves. Remember that? Gervonta had these little bullshit red gloves on. I don't even think he even really practiced in them, because I know he practiced in the gloves that he probably selected. The same brand. No boxing, no life, because he supported the brand that Canelo came out with. Fuck, Mayweather could have came out with some fucking gloves. You know what I mean? He used to wear Everlast because his hands were brittle, right? Later in his career and stuff. So he could have done that. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. But he was hating on Canelo, and he didn't like the fact that his fighter was wearing the gloves that his quote-unquote rival, Canelo, was promoting, or, his brand and stuff. So it's crazy. Kurt, you think if Boots beats Thurman and knocks out Danny Garcia, he deserves a shot at Crawford? Because Danny's never been stopped. Yes, I do. And if he stops Danny's another one, good chin. Yeah, Danny Garcia. He beats Danny Garcia, Mr. Six Toes. If he beats and knocks out Mr. Six Toes, yeah, he deserves it. Why not? I mean, if Crawford's still at 147, why not? That's the equivalent of someone wanting to make a name for himself, taking on the best, just like David Benavidez wants to do. David Benavidez wants to fight the best. He wants to fight Canelo. Canelo has every belt there. I mean, there's nowhere else to go but Canelo, because he has every belt. It would be different if there was another champion, there was another option, another avenue. There's no other avenue. There's no other option. It's only Canelo at 168. Same for Crawford. So if Crawford's still at 147, he's the undisputed champion at the weight class. So there's nowhere for Boots to go but through Crawford. So yeah, he would. Canelo will eventually get to Bud, only because the weight disparity. Bud will be winning until that point. I don't think he can find Bud like that. You got to understand, Crawford hits a lot harder than people think he does, and he doesn't have hand problems like Mayweather. That's what people need to understand. So if those guys fight and Crawford destroys Canelo, people will be like, what the fuck? The reason why people will be like, what the fuck, is because that no one's ever done that. That's why everybody was like, what the fuck? When he did that to Errol Spence. Errol Spence was that guy. You know, I mean, he never been down either. Until he was. You know what I mean? So things don't happen until they do, people. Zhang has a good chin. He sure does. So Zhang's up there. So Canelo, Garcia, Joyce, Zhang, right? Who else can join that list of good-chinned fighters? Bud has a long-ass arms, great body defense. Good for body defense, yeah. But see, it's also good for catch and shoot. See, Canelo, he'll go to that body because he won't like the movement for Crawford. Because see, Crawford will catch Canelo, and then Canelo will try to counter. And we've seen Canelo deal with fighters like that. He's not good at fighters that know how to box and move. Pure boxers, he's not good. We've seen that Ennis fight. That was a shit show. Canelo was throwing shots like his ass was drunk in a saloon, and he had about 12 pints, and he was trying to fight somebody that he was drunk, and he couldn't catch. Okay? Crawford is too clever for Canelo. Canelo is good, bro. He's good. But that come forward style might not work for him like people think. Because people think he's just going to, walk him down like he did Plant. And Plant really is not known, and he wasn't. But Plant didn't really do enough. See, Plant had a good idea, and when he unloaded on Canelo, he caught Canelo, edged some shots. He, threw that 1, 2, 3, 4 punch combination, and he caught Canelo with a couple of them because Canelo's good at defense, but he didn't miss all of them. He didn't dodge them all. He pops, spot, okay. Then he comes back and he walks him down, and eventually he caught up with him, okay. But that shit didn't happen for Bivol, did it? No. And what is Bivol known for? Rapid fire combinations, right? Okay. Answer this one question. Did Bivol drop, stop, hurt Canelo? Just a question. Can somebody tell me? Did Bivol hurt Canelo in that fight? Pity pat Plant. Plant doesn't throw with intent like Bud would. Yeah, Bud would time shots. No. Okay, James Harris, no. Avoidable, no. Just don't hold your get against him. I don't know what that means, Jay. Did Bivol hurt Canelo? Just a question. Triple G also done it once, in my opinion. Done what once? Hurt Canelo? Kurt, pound for pound, who do you think is more skilled between Usyk and Crawford? Crawford. Because, see, pound for pound shows the dominance in between the fights that you produce. That's the difference. They're both good, but Usyk beat Joshua twice, okay? The only problem now is that Joshua, Spence, those guys have to redeem themselves because they've been beat and been one-upped by a guy that beat them. Scance Rants, what's up, brother? Counterpunched, you the man with the wrench. Question, though. Answer my question. Did Bivol hurt Canelo? That's all I want to know. Did Bivol hurt Canelo? Did Bivol hurt Canelo? Do you think Triple G lived up to his potential? No. I think his potential, and I think Triple G was another fighter that fame, money destroyed his ambition. It crippled his potential. Why do I say that? Golovkin wanted to fight everyone he could possibly fight. He wanted the Canelo fight. He wanted the Dimitri Pittsburgh fight. He wanted the Sergio Martinez fight. He wanted the Peter Quillen fight. He wanted Billy Joe Saunders. He wanted Chris Eubank. He wanted Demetrius Andrade. I don't even think Andrade was there yet. He wanted everyone until he fought Canelo. That motherfucker wanted, I want drama show. I want good boy. I want drama show. He wanted all that. Until then what? The veal juice is ducking Wilder. So you have to let me on the channel by default. Give Juice fans a good cussing. A good old cussing. Okay. Devil did hurt Canelo. Devil did hurt Canelo. Okay. He wanted Floyd Mayweather. He wanted Mayweather too. I like to see Bud Canelo for the simple fact that I'm still waiting for someone to give Bud a close fight. Although I got Bud, I'd like to see how he fights a much bigger, possibly stronger Canelo. I would like to see that too. Well, you do know, Scance Rants, that it was a lot different than that Juice Joshua is ducking Wilder. That's unfair to say because the people that were going to supply the money no longer have the money in their position to supply the money. You know what I mean? And so if we get Usyk and Tyson Fury, that money pretty much funneled into another purpose, and the other purpose is an undisputed fight. So it pretty much got one-upped. Triple G didn't want Lara. He didn't want Lara. You are so right. Lara, he wanted everybody except Lara, and Abel Sanchez didn't want Lara for him. I don't like, he's not an attraction. I'm like, okay, dickhead. Lara just fought Canelo to a controversial decision. The guy that you want to fight for all this money at your weight class 60. But Lara isn't an attraction. The guy that you want to fight is the guy that gave the other guy that you want to fight hell. That's what you want to do. See, people like Abel Sanchez, and you know what? Abel knows, though, an idiot. Abel protects his fighters like he protected Joe Joyce 5 years ago from Luis Ortiz. 5 years ago, Luis Ortiz, before he got knocked out by Wilder the second time, because he already got beat early in that fight. He hurt Wilder in the 7th. He got stopped in the 10th. Okay, that same year, people, Joyce was about 10-0, and Abel Sanchez was his trainer. As you guys remember, he was his trainer, and then he was his trainer. Abel, no, I don't like that fight for. I don't like that fight for Joyce. I don't like that fight for Joyce. Stay up in Big Bear, shit like that. Canelo don't hurt Bivol too. Okay, yo, what's up, Kurt and crew? Much respect. Loreco Perez, what's up, brother? Counterpunched to you. But listen, seriously. Abel Sanchez knew what he was doing. Because, see, that could have very well been Ortiz stopping Joe Joyce. But see, here's the funny thing. Your trainer's opinion is only his opinion, right? Just like, for example, Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach did not want Manny Pacquiao to fight Crawford because he said Crawford's style is all wrong for Pacquiao. Right? Well, that was his opinion. And then shortly after, if you really remember, those guys ended up falling out. So they fell out. They didn't talk for about 3 or 4 years. Boo Boy Fernandez became the head trainer. Right? So, nonetheless, he did not want to fight for Manny. Abel, same for him. He did not want Triple G to fight Lara, and he did not want Joe Joyce to take on Mr. Old Ass Ortiz. Thought Juice was a cash cow. He'd rather fight Hergovic or Zhang in China than make more money getting chinned by Bomb Squad in Vegas. You know, I think Anthony Joshua should fight Deontay Wilder in Madison Square Garden. Up for 10, Kurt. Philip Hergovic has a good chin. It's decent, but we've seen him hurt. We've seen him hurt. He gets hurt like anybody else. So I really don't put him there. simply because I've seen him hurt before. Now, having a good chin doesn't make you indestructible, right? Or invincible. But no, I've seen Hrgovic hurt. But I think you should credit Zhang's power too. So I'm not just hating on Hrgovic. Let's hit that like button. We got over 100 people in here. We only got 30 likes. And for the 30, I thank you very much. Hrgovic is overrated. I think so. I didn't like his last performance. You're only good as your last performance, and I didn't like it. You Senior had a good chin. Yeah, he had to, bro. To fight Ben. Ben's a monster. That dude was insane. But you know, Mr. Ben, though, he was on, he let the cat out of the bag. He was on some serious drugs. And I don't mean PEDs. He was a drug abuser. He did all types of other stuff. Devin Haney is big, dud, and athletic to like Crawford. Canelo don't hurt Bivol. What's Bivol been up to? Bivol is going through, he injured himself and he didn't really want to tell a lot of people. So Bivol, yeah, he's injured. Kurt, do you think Wilder is ducking Andy? I want to hear the other side first. I'll tell you this. If Andy, my mate, used to see Nigel being out raving after his fights. Yeah, man, because he said, he admitted, he was like, dude, like when I was young, I abused my body. What do you think that means? Andy has a decent chin. Andy's up there. Shit. Andy has a good chin too. But I don't know if he's ducking it. But then here's the thing. If what Andy Ruiz is saying is true, which he has to be more transparent to me, honestly. I'm not 100% convinced on Andy, because Andy's did a lot of ducking himself over the years with Dillian White and Luis Ortiz. Over 3 years ago, he ducked those guys. You know what I mean? He'll probably fight them now, but then I think Andy is looking too much of himself. He's living in the past. Andy ain't done shit worth mentioning. So it is what it is. He hasn't done anything. Kurt, you didn't talk about KSI versus Tommy Fury. All right, let's talk about it. KSI versus Tommy Fury. I didn't see the fight. I wasn't gonna pay $60 for that shit. I just wasn't. I had a family function yesterday. I ate shitload of seafood, king crab, and all that, bro. I didn't watch that fight. I seen a little bit of Keyshawn Davis though. Andy blew all his money. Shit, I hope not. Or my bitch wife took my money, bitch. She tried to expose me, man. With my off day, I had weed. The bitch put the picture with, she posted it. Get yourself a chipped Fire Stick. Nah, I won't do that. If I'm not going to support nothing, I'm just not going to watch it. But I'm not going to watch it for free. I'm not going to do that. Just like I wouldn't want someone, like, the next movie I'm in is Color Purple. That'll come out Christmas Day. Anybody comes on here telling me, hey man, I saw that shit free on Fire Stick, I'm gonna block you. I'm dead serious. Because that means you're just taking money out of our pockets, and you got to think about it. I haven't worked since March. So I haven't worked a show since March. The last show I've done was a pilot. So the biggest movie of the year is Color Purple. It's a musical, but it's huge. It has her and Fantasia and all this. Oprah Winfrey, Quincy Jones, Steven Spielberg. It's just huge. And like, yeah, I would love for everybody to go check it out. Go watch that film. It's an awesome film. You know what I mean? And I may see it before when I go to the premiere, but I support fighters, just like I would want somebody to support me, you know, and the things I do. I won't rob somebody just trying to be cheap or trying to get over on somebody thinking I'm, you know, doing something smart. I'm not. I'm just doing something that I should pay for that I'm not paying for. You know, Kurt, where the hell is Brian Jennings? Did he retire? Haven't heard from him mentioned lately. Well, unfortunately for Brian Jennings was a Don King fighter. Once you lose and you're a part of Don King, you're done. He's not going to promote you. It's the equivalent of, you know how Bob Arum, how he did Andy Ruiz? When Andy Ruiz lost that split decision in like New Zealand against, or was it in Australia against Joseph Parker? He didn't even want to promote Andy. So Andy had to buy himself out of his contract because Bob Arum didn't want to give him any more fights. That's how he ended up with Al Heyman. You know? Mr. Isaac, I appreciate you. David Haney. It's Devin Haney is a big man like Spence Jr. Hi, Kirk. How are you? Did you watch Tommy Fury versus KSI? I did not. Who wins, Bivol or Beterbiev? Ooh, bro, I don't know. I have no idea who would win that fight. I would say it's a 50-50 fight. I think Bivol's faster. I think Bivol has the boxing ability, ring IQ, but I think Beterbiev has the grit, the power, and I think he has the instincts. You know what I mean? He has the instincts, and I think Beterbiev, see, here's the problem. Bivol has all that. But fighting someone that's fighting you back aggressively, that knows that they're not the fastest in the ring, is a dangerous fighter, especially coming from a fighter that throws that many punches. One thing about offense, you can't have 100% offense and expect not to get hit. And Bivol throwing the punches that he throws, you know, Bivol is a, you know, he's just coming at you with these shots, these different angles, and he's just turning with you. He's just turning, and he's turning with you, and he's throwing these combinations like Manny Pacquiao, you know, but he's, you know, orthodox fighter, bigger Asian dude throwing these shots. What the hell do you think Beterbiev is going to be doing? Beterbiev will be also throwing shots. He's not going to be sitting there. No, he's going to be moving. He's going to be throwing. He's going to be creating angles. Bivol, Ivan Drago. No, I don't think he's Ivan Drago. If anybody's Ivan Drago, bro, it's Beterbiev. Shout out to Robert Volkov. There are inconsistencies in both Wilder and Andy's statements about making the fight. Absolutely. Bravo. See, Malik Scott says we offered him $4 or $5 million. Wilder said after that, we never offered him an amount. So where did Malik Scott get his info from then? Does that make any sense? That's okay. That's one inconsistency. Two, Andy, my father's just looking out for me. What did your father ask for? 50-50. Okay, you're not going to get 50-50. Okay, for one. For two, he said there was no offer mentioned. So that means Malik Scott should sit down and have 3 seats. Why? Because he's telling us the information is not true, right? Untrue information. So you have that. Malik Scott's out. So there's no amount of money. So what was he said there was no contract. So if this is just all talk, that means that this is no different from that fucking Anthony Joshua $50 million bullshit without a contract, isn't it? See, that was the rumor. There was no contract. People say, oh, there was terms and things like that. Send us the terms and agree. But if there's no contract, how can you say someone's ducking you when you sent none? This is how you duck a fighter. Send a contract to him and he looks at it and never responds. That's a duck, right? Not a no reply or a non-reply is a duck. Okay, especially when you've done all the ramifications to make a fight or to offer a fight to another fighter, you being the A side, and you're sending it to the other side, side B. And you're saying, hey, this is the terms. Let your lawyers take a look at this shit, and there you go. Tell me what you think. Get back to me. Let's edit. Let's do some drafts or some whatever. Right? Malik, the same guy, the same like John Fury, talks too much nonsense. Well, he just talks. Here's the thing. Malik Scott talks a better game than John. John's just kind of, he's illiterate. He'll tell you, I ain't went to school. He don't know anything about that. But Malik Scott looks like he had a degree or two. He's done some, he still might be full of shit, but he's still, he knows boxing because he was a boxer, and a better one than someone like John. You know what I mean? That's, Tommy Fury, the fighter of our generation, he takes out Bivol. Tommy Fury would be absolutely destroyed by someone like Dimitri Bivol, the WBA champion of the world, bro. Stop. Why do you think he's fighting guys like KSI, Jake Paul? Come on, bro. He's not that dude. He's not. Tommy Fury is not that dude. He's a fucking fitness model. Him and AJ should fucking hang out. Because that's what he does. He's worried about how he looks. Okay? Kurt, Showtime plus Top Rank plus PBC should join, force his team up and merge a partnership together. Adari, if that's the case, then really boxing is going to hell. Boxing is in trouble if that actually happened. That means that there is fear. You might have 3 boxers on TV. Fuck that. John Fury is the same person that wanted to step in the ring with Mike Tyson. He states he still does. He states he still wants to step in the ring with him. Too bad Bivol is a wife beater. What does that mean? Okay. Tommy is mediocre boxer at the same level John Fury was. Tommy hella jacked. He more jacked than Bivol. He wins easy. Okay. Put some money where your mouth is. Tommy would be annihilated by Bivol. He KOs Better Beef as well. Underdog Rising ENT. Stop the bullshit. Stop the cap, please. Please. What do you think about what went down between Shakur and Devin? I think it's some bullshit. I think Shakur should have took the 25%. He jumped in the ring and all that bullshit. And see, that's what shows you. Just because you get in the ring with somebody doesn't mean a fight's going to take place. If you're not willing to accept the terms that was offered to you. That would have been a good fight, and I would like to see that fight because Shakur Stevenson is smaller. And see, a guy like Shakur needs to understand that, yeah, he's a talented boxer, but he doesn't have a lot of power. Yeah, he's trolling. He got to be jacked. Bivol versus David Benavidez. Now, that's a fight. And I think for Benavidez should, if Canelo fight doesn't happen, I think he should go to really 175 because I think there's more fights there. There's the Callum Smith fight, the Beterbiev fight. You got Joe Smith, somebody like that, a hard-hitting guy, not really as talented, but, as fast. You know what I mean? I think guys like that. Whatever happened to Sullivan Barrera? Is he still fighting? Because I know, Bivol beat the shit out of him, and I haven't seen him really since. Shakur is not crisp in style. I mean, he doesn't have power either. He's not a Gervonta Tank Davis. See, Davis can move up because he has the power. He has that explosive power that catch you off guard. Like, what the hell was that type power? That's Tank Davis. Stevenson just has supreme boxing ability. You know what I mean? Very, very, he's very talented. But he doesn't have the power. Benavidez versus Boo Boo Andrade. I'm looking forward to that fight. Now, I will go live for that fight. Yep, Andy did beg Wilder for another contract. You know what? He did. He did. Remember, he did say that, didn't he? Mr. Investing. Presidential investing. Andy did say, send me another contract. I'll fight for $10 million. Remember that? See, it's that bullshit right there. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. PBC should join the zone. That ain't going to happen. Shakur is very talented, but I do think he overhypes himself. Well, you got to know, you have to take steps. Hold on a second. Kurt, who would win, Otto Wallin versus Arslan Bekmambetov? Probably Arslan is just bigger. He's just a big guy. I think Arslanbek is a guy that he's awkward and he's big and shit, and you know, but I don't think that he is a. I don't think Otto Wallin. I don't think he has what it takes to stop someone like him. It would be an interesting fight. I wouldn't want that for Otto Wallin though. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to take on guys that other guys don't want to take on. That's how people get beat. Anyone else notice that Tommy Fury is this spitting image of Fury's heads of security? Brendan, check it out. I think he is his real dad, not John Fury. Nobody has picked this up yet. I never seen that guy, so I don't really pay attention to him like that. But see, Tommy Fury is a guy. He is a guy. You know, I don't think he's gonna be bald. You know, like that. I hope he doesn't. But you have to look at his mom. His mom's like some type of. She's real dark. That's why Tommy's like that. Tommy got a fucking tan. Now, I don't think that tan is like manufactured. I think he's. You know, he's got some type of something else, you know, like almost like Arabic, almost, right? You know, dude has Arabic features. Look it up now. Let's see, man. Let's take a look here. Shit. Hold on. Okay, let's see. What's his name? What's the guy's name? Bill Keaveney. What's up, brother? Counterpunched to you. Trust me, I think I'm on to something. Only thing against Bud is age. 36. I think Bud wants the Canelo fight for lost money he could have made in the past when he didn't get his recognition. Bud deserves a big payday, then retire. Yeah, Brendan what, though? What's his name? Brendan what? Tommy's tan is laying under the sunbed. Well, you got to understand, though. Like, tans for certain people. Let's say Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury tan like that motherfucker would be red and he would be peeling. Tommy Fury ain't red and peeling. That motherfucker's brown and fucking bronze. You know? Papa's maybe. Yeah, that's it. Mama's baby. Daddy's maybe. I mean, that's what they say, right? The Fury trilogy made Wilder roughly $60 million with 3 million pay-per-view buys. Look online, Wilder is worth more. Well, no, I think Wilder's worth more. I mean, he's done more lately. I mean, look, 2021 compared to 2019. See, Andy Ruiz is really looked at as a fluke. Wilder is a guy that hasn't lived up to his potential, but he's been in true wars, okay? The trilogy with him and Tyson Fury will always be remembered. So will the upset of Andy, but then Andy himself won't be, you know, he's still on the Buster Douglas level. He ain't did shit other than that. Okay? Kurt Benavidez isn't on the level he thinks he is. He's just a big dude fighting in a smaller weight class. Canelo would expose him. He's never been in the ring with anybody elite. Okay, Triple X. Let's see. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's see, man. Because when I hear somebody's overrated, I say, let's see. Why has AJ and Wilder developed cold feet all of a sudden? Turpentine. They don't have the money that they thought they were going to get for fighting each other being former champions. That's it. I mean, honestly, I don't see Eddie saying anything different, but then why would you talk shit when there's not anything really left to talk about? Okay, because see, we have a problem with people talking too much and nothing happening. The only thing, and we know Eddie can talk more shit than Jesse Jackson, George Bush, and Don King combined. Okay? But I don't think it really warrants to talk about Wilder and Joshua. You know, we can complain about it, but at the same time, you know, the money that they thought they were going to get, it doesn't happen. It is a business. And the business was, here was the model, a tournament, remember? Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, all those guys. These guys fight each other, these guys fight each other, and then the winners fight each other. Okay, so that's how it was supposed to be. But unfortunately, Tyson had other plans. See, what he had up his sleeve, people, was the Francis Ngannou fight. So he knew, I'm not going to sign on to this shit because I don't want anything stopping my payday, my Mayweather projected payday, from fighting a guy that's never put on a pair of fucking boxing gloves in his life like Francis Ngannou. Why would he fuck that up? I'm going to go in being one of the best boxers, the WBC two-time heavyweight champion of the world that's never been defeated, one draw, right? As he calls one robbery. And I'm going to go in and fight a guy that's used to breaking guys, kicking guys, and striking guys, but don't know how to box guys. Why would I fuck that up? If I know I'm going to get $40-50 million to fight this guy, I am not fucking that up. Something that easy to fight a guy that is the equivalent of the guys that I fought the last 2 years. Why would I fuck that up? By fighting Usyk, which Usyk might fuck around and do the same thing he did to Joshua. Everybody thought Joshua was going to lose to Usyk? No, I did. But people thought, man, AJ, too big for Usyk. Once he catches Usyk, he's going to hurt him because he's too damn small. Everybody said the same shit except me. Anthony Joshua had better promotion. That last-minute Andy Ruiz fight lowered his value because he thought his chances were high of winning. Yeah, and everybody thought that he was going to win. And look, and people value Anthony Joshua based on the whole idea that he should have won. And since he didn't win, everyone looked at him like, well, you didn't win. You know, so that's it. You know, we got to now side-eye you until you beat someone worth redeeming yourself. People, believe it or not, you guys know Joshua's on the redemption list. He's on the redemption list with 15 other motherfuckers. Or, sorry, 14. He's there too. You know, everybody gets it. Everyone needs redemption. Everyone's on the infamous shit list called the redemption list for a reason, though. I ain't just going to throw you on there because I don't like you. You're on there because you need to redeem yourself. And until you redeem yourself, you're going to be forever on that list. Look it up. the redemption list. You Google that shit. That's bloop, 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 bloop. You're going to see all these videos of these fighters that need redemption. Dillian White was the only one that got himself off and then put himself right back on. You know? Joshua and Wilder will only fight if the money is huge. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. If Wilder was popping off shit, there would be an argument to have enough energy to say Joshua's ducking because there's someone claiming he's ducking, for one. Okay? There's someone claiming he's ducking, for one. And for two, okay, people that don't like Joshua can automatically say, well, hey, he is a guy that doesn't want to fight because you got the other guy claiming he wants to fight and ready to fight. But if the money's not right, it's not right. Brendan Lyon is the guy's name who I believe is Tommy's name. Okay, let me look it up real quick. Yeah, Joshua, you know what? Keep it a buck always. If Joshua don't give us, if we don't have the Wilder fight, okay, I understand the money, the aspect of that, all that, blah, blah, blah. But if he doesn't give us that fight, Anthony Joshua should at least make something interesting. Like be creative with who you choose. Jarrell Miller, he might not be. See, Jarrell Miller, I don't care what he's doing. He will take that fight because, you know, he knows he'll make $1 million or $2 million for fighting someone like Joshua. And then that whole rivalry has not been dealt with. Okay. Kurt, I still want to see Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller. Well, I want to see Dillian White. I don't know. I think he's retired. I think he's retired by default. You know, I mean, because by the time he comes back and, you know, he spends all this money on lawyers and all that shit, his name is already tarnished. And I don't think that any lawyer will make that go away. I just don't think that's the case. You know, even though his last sample was contaminated or whatever, it doesn't matter because now he has an issue accusing him of the same shit. It's almost like the Michael Jackson shit. People will always call this man a pedophile, right? They will always call him that simply because it was more than one time that somebody has came up or accused him of something. In this case, this is the third time for Dillian White that he's actually been caught in some type of bullshit like this, some shape, form, or fashion. So I do think, you know, Dillian White has gave us some awesome nights of fights. You know, he's won some, he's lost some, he's won a lot more than he's lost, but he, you know, but I think his day's done. I think he should really focus on being management, you know, help my boy, his brother, Big Dean, you know, form a promotional company for fighters. And I think that should be the end of it for that. I think he should go in behind, you know, or outside the ring, you know, as if he wants to stay in the sport. Andy needs to fight Sanchez. Andy Ruiz is not stupid. Andy Ruiz only wants money. He only wants money, and I think he wants too much. And if he's asking for too much, he's ducking. And I don't think he has believes in his ability. I don't think that. You know, and guys like Sanchez, like Frank would beat Andy Ruiz easy. All he has to do is outbox him. He can do that. He has the explosive power to go in and out. He can box. He can move the ring. The only dangers is if he gets caught by Andy on the ropes. because Andy will unload and he will let his hands go. But see, here's the problem. Andy has lost a lot of weight again. If you notice, Andy is like a smaller Andy again. And we've seen a smaller Andy against guys like Chris Arreola, and he didn't take that right hand good at all. And, you know, and it looked like his punch resistance wasn't there. You know, maybe, hopefully, that was just his ring rust, maybe, you know. So that might be what it is. Showtime is going from boxing. PBC should join DAZN. Well, Showtime is leaving, just like HBO left, and you know, it doesn't surprise me. It's kind of scary, honestly, because you know, Showtime gave up Wilder. They gave up Wilder in 2019 because they just did not want to give Wilder what, you know, he felt he was worth at the time. And see, honestly, Wilder was worth $120 million because $120 million was offered to him, you know, and he has that, and he will always use that as a bargaining chip for anything, you know, unless he just keeps getting beat, you know, or gets whooped by nobody. Then nobody would really care, because then somebody that's came in that nobody knew has beat him. And what'll happen, that won't elevate the guy that beat him. It would just demotivate and demote Deontay Wilder. So, you know, it is what it is. Does weight affect punch resistance? Sure does. Bill, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, especially when you're below the heavyweight line. You know, if you are a guy that's starching yourself to make a certain weight and you know damn well you don't belong there, every level of fluid, of water, of whatever you need in your body, chemicals, you know, that all affects your strength. You have to have the right amount of fluids, and I mean different fluids, bodily fluids, water retention. You need all of that, you know, in order to properly maintain. You know, that's what happened to Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones went from fucking heavyweight. He fought John, the Quiet Man Ruiz, obtained the WBO heavyweight championship of the world. Then he went from fucking 205, 215 or 210 or some shit, and he went all the way down to 175. He beat Antonio Tarver the first time, and then the second time he was knocked out cold, and that's when his reign of knockouts began, because he was a guy that was stripping himself down for all the fluids, all the muscle, and all the fat, the things that he really needed. And when you lose fat, you also lose muscle as well, you know what I mean? Especially when you're dropping drastically the amount of weight like Roy was doing. That's 25 pounds right there. 175 to even 200 is 25 pounds, and I think he was 205 or 210, so that's 35 pounds. You mean 30 pounds you're losing to make a weight that you once was at? That's you know, that's never good, especially when you get older. And Roy was getting older. Roy wasn't a spring chicken when he went up to heavyweight. He had done everything else from 160 on up, really 154, 160, 175, no, 168, then 175, then heavyweight. No, then cruiserweight, then heavyweight. Then he went from heavyweight all the way back down to lightweight. It wasn't cruiserweight. He probably would have had a better chance because he didn't have to lose that much, but he lost that much. Okay. Don't being hydrated, just regular dropping weight. No, I mean, it's like your body still has to acclimate based on what you do when you're that weight. You know what I mean? So if you're accustomed, let's say you're 240 and you drop 20 pounds, like drastically, your body is not acclimated to go around and do what you were doing at 220. You think, well, I'm lighter. Well, you know, you're still using a lot of energy, and your energy levels are not the same because your body's changed. Kurt, Danny Dubois should just fight like Ike Barabucci or Evander Holyfield. I don't think he has the heart like those guys. See, Ike Barabucci is not just a monster. He's not just a heavyweight legend, okay, that had the potential to be something that he never will be. He had more than that. He had punch resistance. He had heart. You know what I mean? He had what it took. The David Tua fight, when he took punches from David Tua, the undefeated David Tua that was knocking guys out like Mike Izon and John Ruiz, and you know what I mean? Many guys. He was just taking them out. He would hit you with the left hook and the uppercut and the body punches, and you know, he showed that he belonged there. Not only that he belonged there, he showed us that he was the man, okay? 1 or 2 punches, hard shots to his dome ain't gonna take him down. This guy is able to withstand a lot. Now the question would be, you know, because a lot of people link the Tua fight, because they said after the Tua fight he was kind of acting strange, but I think it was already fucking crazy. I think it was batshit crazy anyway. You know, so I think guys like Ika Barabucci and Evander Holyfield, they could take those shots, whereas Daniel Dubois, he doesn't. He's not near that. He's not that person. He's not. He's not that person. You know, he doesn't take punches. Those fucking pot shots that Usyk hit him with, people, that shouldn't have been, you know what I mean? Again, I wasn't taking the punches, but based on the way those punches looked like they were landing, that man should have been able, if he had half a ball sack, okay, or half shit, something, if he had some kind of ball juice, he should have been able to take those shots, bro. I'm sorry. And Ike was ferocious, J. Roos, he was. Davis, Tua is the same height as Mike Tyson. He is. He is. They're both about the same height. Yeah. Tua just got wider. Samoan and shit. Polynesian diet. Terrible. Macaroni with mayonnaise. Kelligwin, Finny Denny, Adobo, Killigwin, shit like that. Yeah, man, you eat that type of stuff. Honey roasted ham. Pineapples and shit. All types of fucking rice. You don't need all them carbs, but he was taking all those carbs. Dubois is forever going to miss amateurs. Yeah, David Tua was probably 6 foot wide, fucking calf muscles the size of the stern wheel. You know what I mean? He's that dude, man. David Tua was a beast. Dude, and look, when Lennox Lewis boxed David Tua, and let me tell you something about Lennox Lewis. If I see Lennox, you know, I hope he in a good mood. Like if I'm hanging out with Spencer Farron, then I meet him. I hope I meet him without seeing him, like without being with him. But I mean, I'm just trying to create a scenario in which I will see Lennox Lewis. If I see him at a fight or something like that, I will apologize to him because I did not like Lennox Lewis. I love David Tua. I love Mike Tyson. Ika Barabucci. You know, Evander Holyfield was cool. You know what I mean? But I did not like Lennox Lewis. You know, I just didn't like him. But he made me respect him. I did, for you guys to know, I did try to squash the Cold War between me and Lennox Lewis. I did. Me and Lennox, we had some Twitter stuff. We kind of went back and forth from Twitter. You can look it up. But I inboxed Lennox. Tua started good against Lewis, then fell off. Yeah, he came in like fucking Andy Ruiz did in the second Joshua fight, J. Roos. That's what happened to him. That motherfucker came in fat, big as shit, 250 pounds, 5'9", couldn't even move, you know? But when you look at the UK legend, Lennox is at the top. The best of all of them. Yeah, I mean, I admit, you know. But I tried to, listen, I tried to squash the beef. Then I told him, like, look, I didn't really care for you. Damn, dude, get out of here. Right when I close it, here he comes. Yeah, go. But I tried to, you know, I just tried to break the ice with him. And he looked at it, and he didn't fucking reply. Lennox seen that shit, and he was like, fuck you, Kurt DeVille, I still don't like you. And, you know, the counterpunch would be, you know, the equal reaction. Well, fuck you too, man, you know. But, nah. Fucking drunk pothead motherfucker. But, no. I mean, I don't have anything against Lewis. I didn't like him when he was fighting. I didn't like his attitude, though. His attitude was kind of fucking pompous. You know what I mean? Oh, you call that a left hook? Yeah, it wasn't nothing. I was going to beat him anyway. You know, type shit like that, you know. So, and when he did to Mike Tyson, dude, I watched that fight like 9 times expecting a different result. That's so fucking crazy. You've seen the fight happen. You've seen Lennox Lewis beat the shit out of Mike Tyson. He busted both of his eyes. Both eyes were cut. Nose bleeding. Both eyes were bleeding. Mouth bleeding. He was fucked up. You know what I mean? Lennox Lewis fucked Mike Tyson up, and it hurt me to my heart. It did. You know what I mean? But I will be Get out of here. Go. I will be a man to admit, yes, I was butthurt over that shit. I was hurt when, like, I mean, I don't really, you guys understand, if we had YouTube back then, because YouTube didn't really come in, like, that shit wouldn't, like, I didn't hear about YouTube until like 2006. I was working at a call center until, like, if you look at YouTube, you got to put in YouTube and then it'll show you all you need to know about all, you know, we didn't have apps and shit like that. You had to look it up online. You had to go online and type in YouTube and Google, and then the shit will pop up, right? Or whatever search engine you used. If you heard of Google, you know what I mean? Google was new. Everything was new, right? So all this shit is like about 20 years old. Well, this was over 20 years old, like 2002 and stuff like that. Shit. So, yeah, that's what that was about. Lennox, a lucky win against Vitali, caused Vitali beat the crap out of Lewis. Well, they both fought, bro. That was a good fight. I'm not gonna say that, but Vitali was catching Lewis. But that's what I'm talking about. Lennox Lewis. Oh, they were gonna stop that fight. You see this? I saved him. You know, that type of shit. Like, dude, you're a prick. You know what? Real prick. You know what I mean? So. And that's why people really didn't like him like that. He wasn't really likable. That was the problem. You know, like, yeah, he's a good fighter. But then, you know, you just, you know, you talk like a pompous asshole after, oh, I would have beat him up. You call that? Like David Tua. David Tua really didn't catch Lennox Lewis flush. And the first thing he said, oh, you call that a left hook? That's not a left hook, man. That's like a floating rib shot, man. That type shit. Lennox Lewis, as a Lennox Lewis fan, I knew the fight would have continued. Vitali would have won. Well, I don't know, because it was stopped, and then Lennox knew, and then see, he downplayed it like an asshole, you know what I mean, so there wouldn't be buzz around it, you know, so he killed the whole idea of it, like, oh, he was going to get beat anyway, and then he retired, you know what I mean. I'm like, why would you want to go out like that? Oh, I did a video, I know that pissed him off, boy. I think that's when he started. You're like, this motherfucker really don't like me. Lennox Lewis, you are right. I did not. Kurt, who would win, David Tua versus Ray Mercer? Eesh. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because, see, David Tua, he's fought some good guys, but see, Ray Mercer that dude was merciless. Then Tua went down one time, and it was against the third fight with Hasim Rahman. But it was more like a trip, and I think that was a draw or some shit like that. Vitali had bitten through his tongue from an uppercut. Kurt, why did Manny versus Canelo never happen back in the day? Because Manny was too small and Canelo was too big. And see, you have to look at the timeline. The timeline was, okay, let's go back to 2010. 2010, like, you had guys like Pacquiao was fighting and beating guys like Joshua Clottey, Miguel Cotto. Okay, he was fighting guys like that, but he was fighting guys like that at a catch weight. Okay, he wasn't like that. He wasn't at that weight. You know what I mean? He was fighting guys like at 145, like he fought Oscar De La Hoya at 08 at 145. He fought all those fights with Juan Manuel Marquez at catch weights, but then they were both smaller. Well, Canelo was 154. And then that means they would have to go at a catch weight. Well, you're looking at someone like Canelo that was billed and marketed to be a cash cow or a fucking star, okay, by Golden Boy. Well, they weren't going to bend down to Pacquiao's advantage by giving him a catch weight. Like, so that meant that Canelo had to be at maybe 152, you know. But even at the time, you know, when Canelo was being known, okay, for one, like Manny got knocked out in 2012. You remember he got knocked out December 8th of 2012. Well, he took a whole year off. Well, at that same time, you had guys like a year later, Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather. Okay, remember that. See, Canelo was making a name for himself, undefeated, one draw, and he was, he had 30 some odd wins, 40 wins, and 40 some odd wins. And Canelo was at a certain time of his career where he was blossoming. Okay, whereas Manny looked like he was on the decline. So between the layoff that Manny had from getting knocked out, that fight didn't mature simply because Canelo was supposedly doing this and Manny was supposedly doing that, but the same in weight as well. So at 154 by 2014, Canelo could no longer make 154. That's why they paid Alfredo Perro Angulo like $200,000 more because now Canelo couldn't make 154. So they made 155 for Canelo. 155 will always be Canelo weight. But it was because Canelo could no longer make 154. So again, if Manny being smaller, he's not going to 154. The only time that Manny fought at 154, he fought Antonio Margarito, if you guys can remember. And I think that was even at a catchweight. I'm not sure for certain. Sup, Kurt, just joined. Why do you call Crawford Mr. Avoidable? Because Tim Tszyu don't want him, and that's the guy that's his mandatory, and he mandatorily don't want to fight him. That's why he's Mr. Avoidable. Canelo says he's too small. He doesn't want Jermell Charlo. You know what I mean? So, yeah, a lot of people are avoiding him. So, yeah, he's Mr. Avoidable. And then to think the history of avoiding Crawford all this time until he got the opportunity to take on Errol Spence, you know what I mean? I think that's warrants Terence Crawford for being Mr. Unavoidable. That's what it is. That's what that's about. That's what the title's about. Just keeping you up to speed. But back to Canelo. Canelo was bigger. You can see his neck, his fucking calves. He was a big guy. If you see him now, he's a stocky guy. He's built, bulky, stocky, you know what I mean? Built guy. Cutting muscles and shit like that. He's short. He's 5'8". He ain't tall. He's probably 2 inches taller than Manny. Manny's 5'6". He's like Javante Tank Davis's height. But then he's smaller. So no, the fight didn't happen, okay, because they're just too far away in weight. And see, Canelo would want an advantage for somebody to move up if somebody was bigger and they would come down, versus Pacquiao would want him to come down, and Manny wouldn't want to move up. So Kurt threw a party with your subs for heavyweight undisputed. Kurt threw a party with your subs. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's probably going to be one of the biggest night. If Usyk fights Tyson Fury, bro, that's going to be the biggest night. That's going to be over 100,000 views that night. That night alone. Shit, if those Joshua fights can be in 90,000 or some odd, yeah. Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk will be at least 100,000 or over. Kurt, Roy Jones should have fought Chris Bird for the IBF title belt. Man, that would have been awesome, and that wouldn't have been a bad weight difference, because Chris Bird, what we found out about that guy there, Chris Bird wasn't even really a heavyweight. He was a blown up middleweight. He even admitted it. Now he got this little white chili shit and he's bald, and he was talking about making a comeback and everybody was like, no, so he didn't do it. But Chris Bird, no, I mean, that just shows you how talented he was. It shows you the speed and talent can go a long way. Eventually somebody will mow you over just like Akabarabuchi did, needless to say. But, you know what I mean? Seriously, Chris Bird was a very underrated fighter. Like he gave fits to the Klitschko's. Klitschko fucked his arm up trying to fight Chris Bird. You know what I mean? And he got a win. It wasn't a win like he beat the shit out of Klitschko or whatever. But, I think Vladimir ended up beating him. And then Vitali injured himself fighting him. But Chris Bird, he does have a win over the Klitschko's when it was the Klitschko era, if that's worth talking about. But Chris Bird, he beat David Tua. So David Tua, the one-punch knockout artist, he beat him. I look at David Tua, Deontay Wilder, Ernie Shavers. I look at all those guys and I put them all in the same boat. A lot of guys, a lot of people these days, because, he's a current WBC champion. Well, okay. But at the end of the day, all those guys are dangerous, but really, like, the value of them being, who they supposed to be, I don't really look at them as any different. David Tua and Ernie Shavers, the only difference is Wilder sticks out because he once was a champion. So Chris Bird is a cocky dude. Yeah, he is. That motherfucker like a bird. You know what I mean? I hated that style though, bro. I wanted somebody to knock him out, dude. You know, because I was so fucking hyped and like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. Dude, I used to love boxing, dude. I'd be down there, man. My pop's crib, they had the big den, and I used to have throw these boxing parties down there. And man, let me tell you, I had beer, had Corona, had Coors. Like those were the type of parties where I hurt myself drinking. You know what I mean? We didn't, it wasn't a camera then. It was just me, the TV, and everybody else that joined. You know what I mean? So, like, when Chris Bird got mowed down by Ika Barabucci, dude, I must have bust a nut. Chris was an artist. Yeah, Chris is he's I meant in-person party. I'd come. Oh, yeah, invite people. I mean, shit, you know, it'd be kind of expensive. Michael Hunter is the Chris Bird of today. Small and awkward. No. No. Because see, Chris Bird had better opportunities. Michael Hunter is a guy, okay? Michael Hunter is a guy that did not live up to his potential. He's like a Boo Boo Andrade. And Boo Boo is now finally getting that fight. But understand, if Boo Boo Andrade, Boo Boo's weird though now, man. I think I seen, like, when I seen him begging Chris Eubank for a fight, the way he was begging, he kind of, you know, he was kind of sounding crackheadish. You know, I didn't like that. I didn't like the desperate, you know, like on the street corner and shit, and his eyes were all, he's probably fucking drunk, but you know, I didn't like that, man. I didn't like how he looked. I didn't like the whole, we can make a lot of money, $1 million. We can make a lot of money. Chris Eubank, we can make a lot of money. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this dude? You know, like, yeah, something, he's tripping. And in that press conference with Benavidez, I didn't really care for that either. Boo Boo has to be the least intimidating boxer ever. Well, dude, I don't like Boo Boo Andrade though. Yeah, he, you know, yeah, Boo Boo and Michael Hunter. And I like Michael. I interviewed Michael. I think he's a real cool dude. But like I told you guys, I think he's too cool. I think he's too cool to be a boxer. I think he should be like a FedEx guy or some shit. And he's a talented boxer, don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Michael Hunter. You know, but then it's like with Michael, it's amazing that one thing you didn't do. And the only thing like that, the only other career that I could see like that is the career that I'm in. Like certain jobs that you take could dictate your entire career. You know, like let's say I turned down a movie. Okay, let me give you a perfect example. Let's say I turned down Fear of the Walking Dead. Well, the Fear of the Walking Dead created like 3 or 4 other jobs for me. So if I wouldn't have took Fear of the Walking Dead, I would have ended up not getting Color Purple, not getting Queen of the South, not getting a few other films, right? So, you know, that happens. Then I think for Michael Hunter was a guy that since he turned down that purse bid for Philip Hergovic. Look where Philip's at versus where he's at. And see, Michael Hunter, I think he would have beat Philip Hergovic, because I think Philip Hergovic is a guy that has problems with guys that can move. And see, Dempsey McKean didn't hit hard enough. Michael Hunter does. Michael Hunter can time Philip Hergovic, and I think with good timing, you can drop that big motherfucker. You know what I mean? And I think Philip, and that's why, it's a reason why Michael Hunter, you know, was the A side. And he was going to get like, I think 700,000 or something like that. He was going to get some change for that shit, and he turned it down because he had a problem with Eddie Hearn and he did not want to fight overseas. That's what it was. That's what he told me personally on the interview. If you guys look up the interview, that's what he said. The fucking interview, I was out of the country. Bro, I had COVID, okay? In 2021, I had COVID. Didn't know I had COVID yet. That was a crazy time. But understand this. Michael Hunter told me, he said he did not like that Eddie Hearn had control over the purse bid. He did not like that he had to go overseas. He did not like, it was just his relationship with Eddie Hearn. If it would have been Bob Arum or even Al Heyman or, you know, anybody else, maybe even Oscar De La Hoya, it would have been different. But Michael Hunter told me, he was like, that's why I didn't take it. You know what I mean? And based on what he's doing now, you know, you can kind of see that that wasn't the best option to take. You know what I mean? So when Hunter was on your live, your end froze and he was still talking to your still face. Yeah, bro, I was in DR. I was in DR. You know, I was visiting a girl that I was dating there, and I was just on vacation. And what ended up happening, I caught COVID in fucking Texas. Well, anyway, I was sweating and shit. I'm still drinking beer and shit. I'm still getting fucked up. And I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm sweating a lot. And then I'm seeing him in the, you know, the Wi-Fi was shitty. You know what I mean? And I didn't have an Ethernet cable or none of that shit to go right into the shit. You know what I mean? So it was fucked up. It was. You know, it was a shitty time. And then any other time you go live, you don't have those problems except with a fucking live stream. But that's what happened. You know, so it was a shitty connection. And I just never got back with them because, of course, when I got back to the States, I had to quarantine. Because it was either have a choice, quarantine in DR, which I didn't want to fucking do, or quarantine or find a way back into the States. So I found a way back into the States. Kurt Michael Hunter is going to pull off a big upset, mark my words. I hope he does. I mean, he deserves it. He needs it. Like his career, like he makes his money now from make like the money now. He makes his money now by that. Got a text message threw me off, but he makes his money now by sparring people because he was in Anthony Joshua's camp, you know, for the Dillian White fight that didn't happen. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hunter versus Ruiz. Yeah, it would be good. He could outbox Ruiz. Ruiz would have to hurt him. He would really have to hurt him. He'd have to hurt that boy. Because if he don't hurt Hunter, Hunter would just outbox him. You know what I mean? And I think it would be more of a situation. I think it'd be a situation where Andy would have, or the judges would not like the boxing style of Michael Hunter. You know, that would be the only way that would take place. Is Michael Hunter still an active fighter? Yeah, he's still an active fighter, but he doesn't have a fight. You know, and I mean, you got a guy, I think he's married with kids and shit, you know. And it gets stressful, man. I think he's still out there in Vegas. You know, but yeah, he's, you know, he does an interview here and now. He's not hard to get in touch with. I could bring him back on the show, you know, so, you know, there you go. Wilder versus Hunter. Dangerous fight, though. Well, I mean, Hunter, better boxer, but Wilder, I mean, he's been in there. Wilder has been in there with better boxers, and he's still able to get them and chin them. And that's the problem. See, so fighting someone like Wilder, like the height of Hunter, too, you know? Do Trinidad and Tobago a favor and bring Hunter on. Okay. Kurt, have you seen Richard Torre Jr.? He's pretty good. I have not. Kurt, who wins? Joe Joyce versus David Tua. I'll go with Tua. Because see, Joe Joyce accumulated his punches and the way he throws punches. David Tua would probably, he might, okay, David Tua is shorter and he would probably have problems like catching him, but then, you know, I just see Tua knocking out. I just see him knocking out Joe Joyce. I mean, he hits too damn hard. And if he catches you with that shot, dude, he has punches power. I mean, he wouldn't. David Tua would maul Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is too slow. He don't have the reflexes. I don't see him having the reflexes to avoid big shots like that from David Tua. David Tua would massacre Joe Joyce. Now I think about it. I mean, he would knock him out cold, and I think he would have to. But I don't think, I don't think just Zhang hits like Tua. I think Zhang hits hard, but I don't think he hits like Tua. Tua had explosive power. He had that type of punch where you're whooping this dude's ass all night long, and this cocksucker hits you with one shot and takes you out. That happened to Hasim Rahman. That happened to David Izon. That happened to Donnell Nicholson. That almost happened to Chris Bird. He got hit with a body shot. Michael Moore, he got knocked out in 48 seconds. He knocked John Ruiz out in like 54 seconds. He knocks out so many people. David Tua, no, bro. David Tua would destroy Joe Joyce because there's nothing that Joe Joyce that I can see him doing, stopping the onslaught of the knockout carnage that David Tua would put upon Joe Joyce, okay? There, I said it. Kurt versus Stavern. Let's make it happen. Who y'all want got? Man, I ain't fighting Stavern for fucking $1,600. The motherfuckers will want to give me $1,600. I tell you now, I'm not fighting that. No. Tua destroys Joyce. Hell no, they would be wanting to give me, man, I got $1,600 if you go. Man, fuck you and that $1,600. You gotta pay taxes on that bullshit. So you want me to pay $1,600 taxes on $1,600 to go in there and fight Stavern? Stavern, understand something about Stavern. Stavern is a heavy-handed fucking guy. I ain't wasting my time, my face, my looks, my nose. What I'm gonna be looking like Dave fucking Lennox Lewis and shit, all like this and shit. Nah, I ain't, nah, Nah, I fucking holler at Carl Froch fighting somebody like Joshua or somebody before I do that. You know what I mean? I'll be right with Carl Froch. Look at my nose. My nose is shit. I'll call Froch up, man. Froch, how you doing, man? Love your show, love your podcast. Listen, who's your surgeon? Oh, you just fought Anthony Joshua, isn't it? Oh, you want that guy? Yeah, yeah. I'd get that shit fixed. And I'm not a plastic surgeon guy, but I get my nose fixed. Fuck that. I don't be looking around looking like Frankenstein. You know what I mean? No. Froch the hater. Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard Ty Booth is back. It's been a while. That's gotta be the unluckiest motherfucker that I ever seen. Like, listen, Ty Booth. Like, I think what made him popular is the fact that, like, a lot of unfortunate shit happened to him. A lot of unfortunate shit. Like, dude, you made a McClellan joke and you got banned from Facebook, all social media, got your boxing license snatched from you. The hell, even YouTube shorts are posting live on. Froch would beat AJ up. That would be some funny shit. No, I think Froch is just, well, I don't know, because I mean, in a street fight, it don't really matter, but then again, it kind of does. But Froch is a fighter though, man. He can fight. What's FYP? What's that? Kurt, what if Andy offers you $2 million? Would you fight him? Yeah, I'd fight Andy for $2 million. I don't think I would win, but I would fight Andy. Yeah, Andy would fuck me up. You know what I mean? I would fight him though for $2 million. Fuck yeah. Psh, Andy? I want Kurt DeVille. You've been talking shit about me for 3 years. You keep impersonating me. I don't sound like that bitch. I'm going to show you that I'm going to knock you out. You're not Ali's son, bitch. I'm going to fucking demolish you, and then I'm going to have a Snickers. Kurt, go beat up Chisora for for us all. Nah, if that motherfucker came with $2 million, Hell yeah, I'd fight Derek Chisora for $2 million. What? Shit, give me like a 10% upside for the pay-per-view? Hell yeah, I'd fight Derek Chisora. I'd fight him. And I think I may be able to beat Chisora. But then here's the problem with fighting someone like Chisora. I wanted to tell you guys this the other day. We mentioned Chisora. I fight Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is one of those guys, and you have to be careful. Jersey Joe Walcott said this. You always have to worry about fighters that are past their prime because they might have 1 or 2 good fights left. And you know Derek is going to come at you throwing shots and bombs. You know. Nah, Kurt, leave Chisora alone. I like Derek Chisora. Don't get me wrong. I like Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is one of them guys I want to hang out with, like on the corner and talk shit with and talk about people. Hey, look at this fucking guy. Look at him. He's all hunchback. Hey, Kurt, he's all hunchback and shit. Big talk, Kurt. Yeah, I like Derek Chisora, man. I do. You know, I wouldn't fight Dillian White. I think Dillian White would fucking, you know, Dillian White. I wouldn't fight Dillian White. Nah. I'd stop Chisora in 3 rounds. No. I understand, man. Boxing shape? Fuck. You'll have me looking like Tommy Fury. Dude, if I get like the dude, I would be ripped. You know? By the way, guys, leave the likes, please. Absolutely. For your page, bro, you're the first live person on my YouTube page. Dillian could be PEDs versus Kurt. Okay, hold on. Cool. Dillian could be on PEDs. Yeah, man. That's one thing. That motherfucker might be juiced up. Like, I mean, what's stopping him now? I mean, I don't know if maybe I don't know. I don't know. Like Dillian, you know, Dillian knows how to get some of that shit. You know? You know what I mean? But like, understand, heavyweights, man, that's that's a whole different ball game, man. Heavyweights. What's worse, he'll get disqualified after the fight. Well, you know, shit. He would probably be in a situation where, you know, I mean, if Dillian White, okay, let's say if Dillian White is taking performance-enhancing drugs, if he takes them on the rig, more than likely he's able to take them or take a smaller dosage that he'll be cycled off of by the time he gets tested. You know, see, the harsh reality of fighters that take drugs, more than likely by the time they get caught, that's not the first time they've done it. It's the first time they got caught doing it. So more than likely, they've made a career out of cheating and taking a certain supplement that gives them an edge of some sort. And, you know, and they're just better at doing it. See, that's the reality of certain fighters. I mean, when they test positive, when they have evidence of whatever's in their body that is illegal or banned, you know by default that they were cheating or had been taking before they got caught. They just did not get caught at that time. The question would be, how long have they been doing it? Take Jarrell Miller, for example. Jarrell Miller is a guy that had 2 or 3 supplements, or not even supplements, you can't call them supplements, 3 different chemicals in his body that were illegal or on the banned substance list. So the question would be at that point, well, how long has he been taking prior to that? You know what I mean? A guy like that throws that many punches, being that big motherfucker, over 300 pounds, and he's throwing 50, 60 punches around. More than likely, yeah, he was on something. But that explains the punch output, because, you know, he's able to do more because he has help. You know, he has findings, substances, right? He has enhancers. That's the word I'm looking for. So if you have enhancers, shit, there's no limit to what you can do. And then see, mentally, you know, if you're taking steroids are a mental thing too. Knowing that you have this in your system, knowing that I got an edge, knowing that I can hit harder or faster or stay, you know, or recuperate or recover faster because I got something in my system that I've been taking that people don't know that I'm taking, and I've just got under the radar, you know what I mean? And, you know, imagine going into a fight like that, knowing all these advantages that you have, that you would like. See, here's the thing. If you wean off a substance that you're taking and then it is not detected, that means that with the drug test or the P test or whatever test you take after the fight, it's not going to come back either, especially if it's the same test. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're good. So having that mindset, it's like, okay, cool. You know, White isn't even training properly. He's probably got fat like he did in 2019. Remember that? Miller put half the pharmacy in his system. Well, he did, didn't he? But, you know, he got caught. You know, and I think what people need to understand, Jarrell Miller, he put it all on himself. He tried to lie about it at first. And he got, you know, and then he kind of admitted it, like, I made a bad call. You know, I'm hurting inside. And dude, I bet you are. Shit. You did all that bullshit. You talked all that hate speech against Anthony Joshua, talking about the man's private parts and shit. Bet you got a little dick. Bet you got a little pecker. I bet you does. Oh, my mom like you? I bet you got a little pecker, mom. Shit like that. I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, stop. I'll throw some insider. Dillian Camp for Fury was atrocious. I dare him to say otherwise. Kurt, who wins David Tua versus Samuel Peter? David Tua. Samuel Peter's defense not good enough. Samuel Peter can punch though. Yeah, he was a hard hitter, but I mean, you know, no. David Tua, guys like that are mincemeat. Guys that come forward, David Tua will knock your head off. You can't fight David Tua like that. You know, the only person that successfully did that was Ika Barabucci. Okay? So Ruiz thought Galata was juiced up, so he attacked him quickly. Well, I know Andrew Galata. I don't know if he was juiced up. I know he was batshit crazy. Andrew Galata was crazy, man. He didn't have all his screws in the right places. He had some screws in some places, but I think they were in the wrong places. I don't think, you know, he might have had a screw missing or two. Shit. Because Andrew Galata was nuts. Dude, I saw that fight not too long ago. I saw him in Riddick Bowe, the 2 fights. And both times this cocksucker let himself get disqualified by just punching low. He just was like you can't explain it. I don't even know if it, see, here's a scary part about Andrew Galata. Andrew Galata wasn't a guy that I didn't think he like, I think like he was just retarded. You know what I mean? This is like something you tell somebody not to do and you just, something was wrong with him, man. I don't know. Some type of mental deal or issue. Galata would punch you below the belt for no reason. Yeah, I mean, he just did that, bro. He just is fucking crazy. I don't know what you call that, man. He just had some type of issue. It maybe just like punching balls. I don't know, man. That dude was like, Andrew Galata would just, dude, and he was beating fucking Riddick Bowe. He was beating his ass, and this dumb, stupid fuck just kept doing the same shit. He would catch Bowe and buckle Bowe. Bowe was like, shit, you know, I'm like, damn, Galata's really fucking him up. And then he would, like, out of nowhere, he would just go right under that belt line, bro. Shit, if he would have hit fuck Usyk like that, Usyk shit probably would have just said fuck it. he would have stayed 10 minutes down there, the type of punching that he was doing. Shit, if he did all that with Dubois, imagine what the fuck he would do to, or with Galata, if Galata caught him. Ike Barabucci versus Riddick Bowe. I got to go with Ike, bro. Because I've seen Riddick Bowe beat. You know what I mean? I've seen him beat. I've seen him out-punched and out-boxed. It would be hell, but then again, Ike Barabucci, another crazy fucking fighter. I mean, he was nuts. Imagine Andrew Galata and Ike Barabucci. You imagine him hitting Ike Barabucci and Ike Barabucci fucking goes crazy and he starts fighting and beating everybody to fuck up? You know what I mean? I'd see that happening. But understand something. Andrew Galata was crazy. Something was wrong with him. But he wasn't a fool. And let me explain. Mike Tyson had Andrew Galata shit-faced scared. He shit himself because Mike Tyson told him. And Mike was serious. You know, because they were like, well, what if he hits you low like he always does? You know, like, he was stressed out of the lights, Jay Roos, because Mike told him. He told him what I'm about to tell everybody. Mike Tyson said, I wish a motherfucker would hit me low. It's on like a motherfucker. And then he said that. Galata was like, nope, I'm not. And then as soon as Mike hit him, fucked him up, he broke Galata's jaw. People don't understand that. Galata quit because Galata's like, dude, this motherfucker hit me harder than I ever been hit. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking with Mike Tyson. This is Mike Tyson, the motherfucker. I might hit a little, you know, a couple balls, you know, and you know, go below the belt, but I ain't biting people's flesh off the face. I ain't doing that. Then this motherfucker hits me and he hurts me and I'm scared. Andrew Galata was scared, people. He was scared. He was like, dude, this motherfucker dropped me. I think I broke my ass bone. You know what I mean? Because Mike came over the top with overhand right. Broke this dude's jaw. Hold on. Let me look it up. I don't want to tell you because I read, okay, and I look up shit. Broken ribs, cheekbone, list went on. Yes. Hold on. Let's just set the record straight. What did Mike Tyson break of Andrew Galata?
According to TalkSport, while sympathy for Galata was understandably in short supply, a trip to the hospital did reveal that the boxer had been left with a fractured cheekbone and a herniated disc in his neck after his 6 minutes in the ring with Iron Mike.
6 fucking minutes? No. So, there you go. There you go, people. That shit was spinal. Fucking neck bone? Wait. Herniated disc in his neck? And that's, you know, that's probably from, you know, the torque from the punch. 6 fucking minutes? He probably would have killed Galata. And Galata knew, man, I'm fuck you, Luduva. Fuck this fight. Fuck that mouthpiece. Fuck these gloves. Fuck this ring. Fuck all y'all. Fuck the guy that threw that popcorn at me. The drink that came from this side. All the trash came from that. I'm not fighting any of them. And Mike's still mad because he wanted to do some more damage. I ain't fucking over this bitch. Quit. Yeah, he quit because you're going to kill him. Because, see, Mike was mad from the idea of instigating ass reporters. What happens when Galata hits you low? That fucking made Mike more furious. You know, because, see, understand this. And I tell who I just did a video on it last week. Didn't get a lot of buzz, but it should have. Understand. Mike Tyson bit off the ear of Evander Holyfield because Holyfield had a career of headbutting motherfuckers. And he fought him twice, and he did the same shit twice. He caught fucking Mike Tyson coming in with his head, and he fucked his eye up. He gashed one side, and he gashed the other side in the second fight. And Mike Tyson gashed his fucking ear by ripping that shit off. If you notice, when he bit him twice in that fight. Okay, he bit him twice because each time he's seen Holyfield come down with his head, and each time he's seen him come in his head, he took a bite out of his ass. You bitch, headbutt this. I'm gonna bite your fucking ear off. So yeah, it's called defense, absolutely. Mike never fought no one though. Yeah, right. He ain't fought nobody from the people's ideology. You know, he fought Frazier's son. He fought fucking Bone Crusher Smith. Understand, in the 80s, though, there was a group of people that was really the end of an era, especially in heavyweight boxing. And let me explain. The end of the era for someone like Ali, you had Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes was the sparring partner of Ali. He knew everything about him. He was called the ugly sparring partner. He was called the ugly sparring partner, another Don King fighter that wasn't as flashy, wasn't as marketable. You know what I mean? He wasn't as desirable as Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali had seen a lot better days, and he finally retired, but not after taking an ass beating from Larry Holmes, though, much younger. Again, sparring partner, fought like him, knew all the tricks of the trade, knew what Muhammad Ali was capable of, but this was a Muhammad Ali that was not the same as he was in the 70s and damn sure not the 60s. Okay, so that was the end of an era. Okay, so then Mike Tyson comes around, and he was pretty much by himself. He's the equivalent of Roy Jones Jr. That's just like saying Roy Jones Jr. didn't fight anybody. No, motherfuckers, it ain't the fact he didn't fight anybody. The guys that he fought were good fighters. He just was so supreme in the area and the timeline that he was just really by himself. He had no known predators. You know, he wasn't the prey to anybody for a long time, you know, until you got the 90s, then they came around, and then he went to jail and stuff like that. He got upset by Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas then got knocked out by Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield was that guy that vowed to take out Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was took down from a fluke. And from the fluke fight, you know, Mike Tyson lost, you know, 30-1 underdog with Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas, you know, lost a parent, came in with the will and the desire of a lion and got the job done. Since he got the job done, though, Mike Tyson's, his shit dropped. But we didn't see another fight between him and Buster Douglas, because by the time he got out, Buster Douglas was done. Buster Douglas went home and gained 400 pounds. He pulled a Tyson Fury before Tyson Fury pulled a Tyson Fury. Because he was actually 400 pounds too. So he's not the only one. Shannon the Cannon. Let's go, champ! Shannon did the same shit. It's called depression. It's not, you're not motivated to do anything. You get depressed and shit, and depressed, in a mess, living in less. You know what I mean? Trying to pass another test, but you're sitting on your ass and you don't feel like you're blessed. Shout out to James Menace. But no, listen. Seriously though, seriously. Mike Tyson was just in a league of his own in the 80s. You can say he ain't fought nobody. That's bullshit. You know, he was the undisputed champion of the world in the 3-belt era, and that was before Lennox Lewis had the opportunity. Okay. Customato stayed alive, Mike Tyson would have been the GOAT. But I mean, he wasn't. That wasn't in the plan. Customato was done. He was too old, and and I think what it is, Customato planted a seed that he knew that would create a tree that was going to be very fruitful, and probably the biggest and the best tree that he's ever planted. He just didn't see it to its entirety. No. Now for him, watering the tree, taking care of the tree, would the tree have been stronger? Maybe. But again, it wasn't meant. If it was meant, it would have happened. And let me tell you something else about Mike Tyson while I'm talking about Mike. Mike's downfall came from the people and the circle of people around him. You know, Mooney was there for him. He once upon a time had Teddy Atlas. See, those guys like that, they didn't have the type of mindset to fuck him over, because they had respect for Cuss. They know this kid, he was a strong, massive kid. At age 13, the motherfucker was built like he was 22. But he was a kid, though. But, he had a mind of a child. Like, you guys don't know. I don't know if you've seen footage of Mike Tyson crying before these fights, because, he was a child, bro. This guy was 12, 13 years old knocking out kids, but it doesn't mean, grown men, but it doesn't mean he wasn't a child. Mike Tyson had a lot of insecurities, man. He'll tell you on his Hot Boxing with Mike podcast. He said he was scared shitless in a lot of these fights. And he didn't really have father figures in there. He had bullies and shit like that. He was growing on the streets. He ran with crowds. He robbed people and all that bullshit. A lot of shit happened to Mike Tyson. And then when he came around people that showed him that love, he was kind of puzzled him and stuff like that. And he had to grow and had to understand that these people were actually the best for him. You know what I mean? And then they kind of dispersed, from the choices and the decisions made by people that introduced themselves into Mike's life. And then Mike really, made the wrong decisions with Don King and Robin Givens and, all these fucking people that got around him. And then the more bad people got around Mike Tyson, the more people good around Mike Tyson went away. You know what I mean? They kind of disappeared. They got out, they were no longer able to reach Mike like they used to. So yeah, Mike Tyson, man, that's what happens when you get all the bad people around you. Blood-sucking ass wife he had, Robin Givens, and then she had a mom that was pimping her, and it was fucking crazy, man. Dude, Robin Givens was the most hated woman in America at one point. That's what stopped that Mike Tyson, the movie. You know what I mean? That because of shit like that. Robin Givens didn't want her name brought up. Mike Tyson already got a few movies that, he's been a part of and shit, documentaries and all types of shit. A cash cow of his day. Managed to blow the lot though. Yeah. Mike Tyson was dude. He had Punch Out. If anybody is from, look, if you're if you're 35 and up, no, probably not. That's probably, if you're 40 and up, let's say that, late 30s to at least 50 on up, you've played Mike Tyson Punch Out. You played Nintendo. See, I come up in the Nintendo era, bro. Atari, I was kind of too young for Atari. I mean, I played Atari because that's more like my brother's. My brother's age, he's like late 40s and shit like that. So that was a little bit above my time. I still played it, Pac-Man and shit like that. But I grew up in the Nintendo era. And in the Nintendo era, Mike Tyson was one of the best fights there, bro. He had pet tigers, I like my tiger. Fucking Mike was insane, bro. Had tigers and shit. He's playing with this motherfucker. Nintendo is still going strong. Yeah, Nintendo, bro, they were like the mob at one point. If you guys have time, I think it's on Paramount Plus. It's called Console Wars. If you guys ever seen that shit, it will blow your mind on the shit. It's nostalgic because, you remember those games back in the day. But what Nintendo did to other opposing game consoles was atrocious, bro. They were doing, like, they would do shit like, hey, if you bring Sega to your store, we're not going to come and supply your demand. Like, what the fuck? It's crazy. So saying all that to say this, man, Mike Tyson was that, was that guy back then. He was the cash cow. Mike Tyson was the shit. Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, the three Mikes. You couldn't miss Michael. Between those three, you couldn't miss them. If you like music, there's Michael Jackson. If you like knocking motherfuckers get knocked out in sports, that's boxing. That's Mike Tyson. If you like basketball, that's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Dude, I remember the first time as a kid, I don't wear shit like that now, but, I mean, I would, but I don't, give me some Air Max. Give me something I can use. Like, I don't walk around with basketball shit, but when I was a kid, I did, bro. My first pair of Jordans, man, I was so happy to see them damn Jordans. Where did I get them from? I know my mom bought them. But anyway, yeah, Nintendo was so big, had to create their competition in the PlayStation. Well, their competition was eventually Sega, but Sega couldn't do anything for a very long time. But Mike was a mother sucker, man. It was crazy. Fury style trumps Usyk. We'll see if they fight, bro. I mean, I still have Usyk beating Tyson Fury because I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced that Fury handle someone like Usyk. Oh God. Oh, okay. Fucking shortstop. Yeah, dude, I'm starving. The only thing I've had like today is my like cachava. So, you know, damn stomach's eating itself. Good time to go on a fast for like 24 hours. Fury too big. Yeah. That's what they say. Usyk has so much energy in the ring, and he knows how to use his size, unlike a lot of heavyweights. Well, he knows how to grab people, you know, snatch you in and shit, arm lock you, hit you in the, you know, uppercut. You know what I saw, though, what I noticed, though, about Anthony Joshua? And this is going to trip you out. I'm going to, like, go live with this, like, you know, later on. But Joshua, dude, is a dirty-ass fighter. Anthony Joshua's a dirty fucking fighter. I was looking at the Franklin fight yesterday. Usyk work rate sets him apart. Yeah. But I will go in the depths, man, and you know, like Joshua, man, like everybody gets it. But you look at Joshua. Joshua has this thing where he'll cuff you with one fucking arm, and then he'll try to hit you with an uppercut. He's done that shit a lot. Lennox Lewis used to do that shit all the time too. You know, especially a shorter fighter moving in, crouching in. That would be the last thing I want to do with Joshua. You want to stay back from Joshua and come in and avoid that uppercut. But he will grab you to throw you. He will cuff you and then he will throw. Look what he did to Klitschko. He did that shit with Klitschko. The only difference is he thought because Klitschko's so used to the jab and grab because he's the fucking master and creator of the shit damn near. To the point where he thought Joshua was just going to come in and grab him. Well, what he did, he went, instead of cuffing him all the way, he just comes up with the right uppercut. So he kind of set him up to see where his head was going to be. And then, here comes the uppercut that landed. Boom. Yeah, Lewis did that shit to Grant. He knocked Grant the fuck out. That fight was hilarious, bro. Grant, with his 6'8" ass, ran over there. Instead of just trying to size up Lewis like a normal fighter would do, like you do when he fight, let's see what you got type shit. Man, Michael Grant ran over there. Lennox did that shit like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? And he knocked out Michael Grant. That shit was funny. It was funny, man. That was some funny shit. What up, Kurt? Educate us on the Mike Tyson era. Dude, Mike Tyson beat dudes that you don't think they're good because you are in an era like how, okay, honestly tell me, can anyone tell me in the chat, can anyone tell me who was big in the 80s? What were the popular heavyweights in the 80s? Can anyone tell me? Yeah, Grant had his size, but see, his size didn't matter. Okay, Witherspoon, Larry Holmes, okay. Who else? I just remember Mike's opponents, yeah? See, when you're that when you're that dominant, you know, look at Roy Jones. Like Roy Jones beat a lot of good fighters, you know, Eric Harding, Lou Del Valle, which was the first one to knock him down. That was once his sparring partner. He fought a lot of guys. Bernard Hopkins, he gave him his second loss of his career. James Toney was an absolute beast, you know, and James Toney was the guy to beat, and Roy beat him with ease. Tubbs was bad. Witherspoon, Ruddock, yeah. Bruno was the UK's top guy for years. Yep. Tyson took him out. And then, see, here's the thing. Oh, Tyson didn't fight anyone. No, what it is, the perception of guys that get beat by these known legends, they're only popular because Tyson beat them. But if you look at their resume, let me give you a good example. Everybody looks at, and I will do this as well, but if you look at I put in Buster and it says Buster Douglas. It just shows you. But see, understand, Buster Douglas wasn't like a one. He wasn't an Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz is pretty much by himself. Okay. Now, this guy, Buster Douglas, okay. Buster Douglas, sure, he was beat by Tony Tucker and Jesse Ferguson, okay, and Mike White. And these guys, Stephen Tagstand. Okay, we haven't heard of these dudes. However, who did Buster Douglas beat, though, that we do know? Okay, he beat Tony Tucker. He beat Mike Williams. He beat Trevor Berbick. He beat Oliver fucking McCall. Oliver McCall is the first guy that knocked out Lennox Lewis, right? Okay, he beat those guys. So understand, just because like Buster Douglas beat some fucking known guys, okay, he beat Oliver McCall. That's not Oliver McCall, bro. I've seen Oliver McCall spar with Tyson. Now, I just gave you guys a short of Mike Tyson last week, knocking out some of his sparring partners. Oliver McCall wasn't fucking one of them. In fact, Oliver McCall, the sparring wars he had with Mike Tyson, I'll do a video on this, but understand, Oliver McCall and Mike Tyson went toe to toe, bro. The style Oliver McCall had, bro, he had a chin, absolutely. But see, Oliver McCall was a bad mother sucker because he gave Mike Tyson the business in sparring and he held his own. And Buster Douglas beat him. So, yeah, so he beat him and he beat Mike Tyson. Okay, so there you go. Now he didn't knock Oliver McCall out because he had, like you said, Jay Roos, he had a chin. So like, dude, he like after I think he lost to Luis Alvarez, which he was way over, dude. He was over. I remember Luis Monaco, that folk he fought up in Chicago. And then, yeah, that was some shit. He kind of hit him after the bell. He was talking about my legs. But that was, listen, the worst thing happened to Buster Douglas was he beat Mike Tyson. And then that's where the similarities between him and Andy Ruiz set in. See, Andy Ruiz, probably the worst thing and the best thing that happened to him was he beat Anthony Joshua. Because see, Andy Ruiz now, he doesn't have any get up. He doesn't have any desire. I don't think he has any real intentions on fighting anybody worth a fuck. Unless it's for so much money that people don't want to pay. In that case, he's his mindset. This is Andy's mindset, I'm thinking. Andy's like, look, I'm going to always shoot for the stars so I can land somewhere in the middle. But see, with some people, with especially A-side people in the situation of like Wilder's going to see that shit is an opportunity to shit on Andy. Instead of like, let's keep it quiet. Okay, Andy, you want 10 million. Instead of him saying, no, Andy, I'm not going to give you 10 million. How about let me offer you 6 or 5 or 4? We can go there. We can cut that shit in half, but we're not going to give you 10 million, Andy. Okay. Andy says he never asked for $20 million. And he said, show me proof that I asked you for $20 million. Well, understand this. I think Andy's thinking, well, hey, they're gonna fall somewhere in the middle. But that's not Wilder. Wilder's personality and mindset is he's arrogant. I've always seen he's arrogant. I think he's too overconfident in times. I think he thinks too much of himself. And I think he thought too much of himself in the Anthony Joshua negotiations. That's why the fight didn't really happen. And see, even if Joshua and Eddie even if Eddie was ducking, okay, Deontay Wilder, it wouldn't have mattered because the money that they offered him, he didn't take. So there's no way to know if that's really the case unless Deontay Wilder decided to take the fucking money that was offered, instead of him running to the public and the media and saying, hey, they offered me 12.5, that's slave wages, I don't want this shit. Well, Wilder, you don't really want to negotiate, honestly, and I don't think you want to negotiate simply because you're going to the media instead of going back to the negotiation table where it all began. Okay, if that makes sense. And what Andy's learning is Wilder's not a businessman up front. He's a guy that wants to bring attention to himself, and he wants to let everybody know his business or a business conducted or supposedly conducted with Andy Ruiz instead of Andy Ruiz. So what he did is, hey, let me tell the world that Andy Ruiz wanted more money than we were willing to give him, instead of just saying, hey, I am not giving you that money. How about this? So he's really no room for renegotiation. And then really, if you really want to fight, if you want something done, you're going to negotiate. You're not going to, hey, look everybody, Andy Ruiz wanted fucking $20 million. Andy Ruiz wanted $20 million. So, the fuck? Oh, iPhone. You know what I mean? So, like, that's crazy. One of the worst years of heavyweight boxing. Feels like everyone is avoiding each other unless it's a big payday. And everybody's doing the same dumb shit. Because that's what boxing has become. You don't have these guys that are fighting their way and fighting each other to get to the top. You got guys that fight their way to a certain position and then sit on that shit until something happens. And then they give us these bullshit tune-up fights that nobody wants to see. You get in a guy that doesn't even belong there. He doesn't deserve to be where he's at because he's a cherry pick. And, you know, he's just a guy that's, you know, a heavyweight division, especially because you don't have to make weight. You just got shit. You don't even really have to be in shape to be a heavyweight. You see guys coming in there with fucking titties like they come from fucking Bluebell, okay? These motherfuckers got tits. They ain't in shape. They just got off the couch. And somebody called them because they boxed about 2 years ago, and then they want to get called for a tune-up for some guy that don't want to take a real challenge by taking somebody that keeps them sharp and fresh, right, and keeps them game for the ready fight that you really want. You fight some fucking tomato can, somebody that just got out the couch from eating the fucking Bill Cosby hoagie, you know what I mean, with extra mayonnaise and pickles and onions and, you know, shitload of tater tots and fries, okay, and a big ass strawberry shake with some donuts for fucking dessert and a cake on the side and an apple pie and all this bullshit. That's who they fight. Somebody that we never heard of. Who the fuck is that? You ain't never heard of him. Who knows? You know? All right, Kurt. Heavyweights, jaw job, jabbing, then actual jabbing. Yep. Full of shit. Full of shit. All right, tell us now who wins, Frazier versus Fury. Oh, no. Probably Fury, man. Frazier hits hard, but then, like, you know, I don't think he can deal with Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury has that height. Joe Frazier's like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". And since he's 6'1", 6'2", I think, you know, Tyson manhandles Frazier. You know, because I mean Tyson, I think Tyson will smother Joe Frazier. He won't allow Joe Frazier to get on the inside to do the classic dance of working the body and do a little dance and moving around, and he's down there and he's doing uppercuts and he's throwing uppercuts and he's throwing left hooks to the body, and then he'll come upstairs with an occasional ravaged rising thunder left hook that he throws so well. I don't think that he will be able to do that with Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury will see him coming, he'll see his shoulders, and he'll be able to look and decipher and throw these punches underneath and then grab him, you know what I mean, let the referee break him up, repeat the process, you know what I mean. I think he'll do a number on Joe Frazier. Would an in-shape old Mike Tyson be competitive against Chisora? Yeah, because Chisora is a poor man's Mike Tyson. Kurt, who will win Ika Barabucci versus Oliver McCall? I mean, because both of those fucking guys are out of their minds. It'd be a good fight. I don't know. You know, I mean, I guess you would go with Ike because Ike hasn't been defeated, but Oliver McCall, I don't know. Is Wilder an all-time great? No, he's not an all-time great. Why would he be an all-time great? What would warrant Wilder to be an all-time great? You don't become an all-time great because you feel you got cheated by a guy that beat you. You don't call yourself an all-time great when you haven't fought in over a year. You don't call yourself an all-time great when you haven't fought anybody else that makes you an all-time fucking great. You know, Tyson Fury's not an all-time great. You know what I'm saying? Like he's you know, I mean, he may be one of the best boxers, but then again, he may fucking not be. And this is what happens, people. Let me drop a little truth on you guys about Tyson Fury and Wilder and everybody. If Tyson Fury loses to Usyk, you know what should be the question now? Would be, who else can beat Tyson Fury? That's the question you ask yourself, because then people's eyes will only be open when they see something they've never seen before. They don't believe in faith and belief and all that shit. They don't. You know, they don't believe in, like things that could possibly happen. And then that's when people truly turn on you. If Tyson Fury gets beat by Alexander Usyk, people, you do understand what'll happen, right? A lot of people, damn near over half the people that supported Tyson Fury will no longer support Tyson Fury. His popularity will drop tremendously. Okay, that's what'll happen. And then they'll be asking, well, who can beat Usyk? And then the second question should be asking, well, who else can beat Tyson Fury? Wilder definitely not an all-time great. Wilder is just as active as Keith Thurman. Yeah, Keefe's another one. Daryl Alexander, if that's the case, then no current heavyweight has earned that title. Of course, I don't see any of them being an all-time fucking great. There's not enough fights that has happened in the heavyweight division to determine anybody being at that level, because there's no opportunity, and there's no, we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen anybody that gave us the amount of fights and won the amount of and been in there with the opposition that gave us any type of anything concerning an all-time great. An all-time great is like a person that has had a span of significant wins with competitive fighters over the years. An all-time great, meaning an all career record all-time great. Wilder will probably be remembered like an Ernie Shavers if he fights AJ. Well, if he loses the AJ, that means he's the last person in that series. The three-headed dragon, he's the less. He's the bronze. He's not the silver. And he's damn sure not the gold. Heavyweights were a lot faster in the 80s and 90s. They were a lot smaller too. No, that's bullshit. He said if Wilder's not an all-time great, then Frazier ain't a damn all-time great as well. No, because understand, Frazier fought guys that mattered. Wilder has not. He's fought Fury. He's fought Theory. He's fought Fury. I mean, like, you can't, bro. And you're gonna pair him to fucking, you're gonna really shit on I was gonna say Joe Rogan. you're gonna shit on Joe Frazier like that? Hagler versus Bud? I don't know. Hagler's big, bro. I don't know about that. The Hagler shit. Because Hagler was a beast. And he was a guy that just didn't stop. Now Crawford may have an advantage of probably counterpunching in time, and that's how he would beat Frazier. Yeah, I don't know why you like if he's not, bro. Joe Frazier, man. Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali, gave Muhammad Ali his first L. He was the heavyweight champion, and he was like that filled-in heavyweight champion. So a lot of people didn't look at him as the real champion until he beat Muhammad Ali. Okay. So guys like George Chuvalo, I remember George Chuvalo, Jerry Quarry, Bob Foster, Muhammad Ali. Okay. So see, George Foreman was the guy that was reviewed at the time. He beat Muhammad Ali, but he lost to Muhammad Ali and George Foreman back to back. Okay, and that was all in the 70s and shit like that. But understand, between Muhammad Ali, he fought him 3 times. He fought George Foreman twice. People don't remember he fought George Foreman twice, not just once. And it's like, with how that goes is, at least Joe Frazier has fought guys like Bob Foster, Jerry Quarry, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. You can't say that shit about Wilder. Wilder ain't fought Anthony Joshua. He's not fought, Alexander Usyk, Joe Joyce. You don't have those type guys on his resume. Kurt, who Muhammad Ali versus Lennox Lewis? Who would win? Lennox was so much bigger in his prime than Ali. No. I hate to go against Ali, but, Ali was faster. Wilder could arguably beat anyone in this era apart from Fury. Maybe. But I'm not going to sit here and be the one to be like, yeah, I think he can. Well, listen, anybody can land a shot. This is boxing, especially someone with that type of punching power. But that does not automatically rule you to be the winner or to be, victorious just because, I can throw this one punch and knock somebody out. Well, we saw that shit ain't the case. You just have to be able to deal with the shot that he throws. Usyk gives Muhammad Ali the most trouble out of today's boxers. Yeah. That would be one hell of a fight, though. Roy Jones versus Crawford. Oh, God. It would have to be at 160. A Roy at 160 versus... Fuck. Roy was so big, though, man. He was... Dude, I don't know about that shit. Because, it's hard to go against a prime, undefeated fucking Roy Jones Jr. That's fucking crazy. Like, people ain't gonna understand. That was Roy Jones Jr., an undefeated 160-pound Roy Jones Jr. Terence Crawford would have to show me. He would have to show me, bro. That's a tough one, man. You did what? Roy Jones Jr., a prime Roy Jones versus the current Terence Crawford right now. Now, if it's for age to age, Terence got him, because by the time Roy was 36, he was already beaten a few times. You know what I mean? So he was knocked out a couple times. So, you know what I mean? But prime for prime, I'm not going against Roy Jones. You're fucking nuts. Can't do that. I just can't. That would be stupid. Especially, like, no. Roy Jones, 160 schools bud. He might just be too fast and too fucking big. And he might punch too hard. Understand, Roy punched hard for a fucking 160. Dude, 160 pounds? All that athleticism? But then, Bud is like a dude that just shows people what he can do. I don't know, man. I just cannot go against Roy Jones Jr. at 160 undefeated, bro, in the 90s. Fighter of the decade? No, thank you. Nah. That would have been $100 on paper. Yeah, it would have been $100. Yeah, no doubt. Mike Tyson versus a prime David Tua would be crazy. Yeah, it would be. Mike is more elusive, moves better. Tua's, I think, has a better chin, but I think David Tua also, I don't know if he hits harder, because I think Mike's faster. So I think the quickness, speed is power also. You know, just David too was bigger, more durable, but I think Tyson was more talented. Triple G to Bud at 160. I think Crawford stops Triple G, especially this Triple G. This Triple G's 40 years old, bro. He ain't gonna fuck with Triple. I mean, maybe Triple G younger. Triple G is a younger guy, yeah. Yeah, sure. You know, I don't think so. Tua had a better chin. Mike had a better offense. Right. You're right. Tommy Morrison versus David Hay. I don't know. That's a good one too, because David Hayes is awkward, and he has those angles, and I don't know. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've got to go in and get something to eat. My stomach is starving itself. Thank you guys for the 2 hours and 35 minutes that we've been on live. Let him chop it up with you guys, unraveling the sport of boxing with you guys. We will see you on the next time. The videos will be coming in full effect. Much love to everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. God bless. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.